The Pat McAfee Show.
There'll be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we can talk about. Yes,
Speaking his mind.
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
While being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake-ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat McAfee Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Hello, beautiful people. It is Holy Hell, We Need a Distraction Thursday, February 24th, 2022. This show begins now.
Yeah!
Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm not blind to the fact that there is some massive things happening around the world right now. I, like everybody else, stayed up late into the night trying to flip through all the different political channels to try to see what was going on from everybody's different angle narration inside. Feels like everybody's in agreement this morning when we woke up with the internet that there is some real shit going on. There's some devastating things happening to people, and there is potential gloom and doom in the future for a lot of people in which a road has not been pathed and we have no idea what happens next. I understand that. I, alongside everybody else, feels a little bit of worry about what the hell is going on in the world right now. But I'd like to let you know that if you're tuning into this show to get information about that, you are dumber than anybody else on earth. Yeah. We are not the people that will have any of the information of what's going on because we're only following alongside of it like everybody else. With that being said, I do believe there is a role to be the dumbass idiots on a screen talking about sports, but if today is not a day where you want to watch about that, we completely understand. We are actually all captivated just moments before coming on the air about what's going on in the real world. But in the real world is not where I like to live. I keep my blinders on and try to keep my world how, I know it. I don't know anything about that stuff, so there's no reason for me to speak about it. But if I went onto this show and didn't even, acknowledge what's going on, I'd be the least self-aware human of all time. With that being said, a lot going on in sports, and we will chat about that today. Take your phone calls as well on the 5-Hour Energy phone line, 1-833-4-McAfee, and all the boys are here. The Talks the Table, at Ty Schmidt, at Boston Connor. Absolutely love you guys, man.
Hey, love you too, Pat. Love you a lot. And like you said, it's it's tough, but hey, I mean, what are you going to do? What am I going to do? We got to do what we know how to do.
Well, by the way, we might have to at some point.
Well, sure. I got asthma and bad knees, so I don't know if
really?
I
got bad knees too, but if we got to this feels like there is a chance that some real stuff could pop off that is only read in history books, only watched in documentaries. I was seeing clips that were happening in fully developed countries, things that I've never seen in real life, I don't think.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We talk sports.
Talk
Boston Connor.
Talk sports.
Yep.
Wild morning, obviously.
Very. Until Uncle Sam comes knocking, though, we will do what we know how to do, and that is say ridiculous things that shouldn't be.
They're true.
Yeah, usually true. Based
Always
on the
true.
memes that we have seen, they are true. And until then, we'll just be as is.
Act as if.
Act as if.
When in Rome.
Bingo.
But speaking of Rome, there's a chance.
I
mean,
I wouldn't want to be in Rome right now.
No. Don't bring Rome into this.
Bro, listen, I don't know shit about fucking this entire thing, but the things that were being said by people that, from all the different political parties, by the way, this was happening on every different channel. Boom, boom, boom. And normally, I enjoy, if you want to get lost a little bit, just flip back and forth between, the left TV and the right TV. They'll be talking about the same thing, two different worlds. Okay, two different complete worlds, two different sides, two different angles. It makes you understand a lot more about why nobody can get along about anything and move on. It's like, oh, this is what they're being told. This is what they're being told. And they are complete opposites. And I'm sure they don't dabble back and forth in that, even though you probably should. Last night, across all channels, pretty much the same message from everybody.
Wild.
That freaked me out a little bit.
Yeah. That's when you know something's wrong.
Yeah,
when
that one freaked me out.
page.
It was like, I didn't expect that because I heard it on. I was watching one particular guy puts on his flak jacket, puts on his hat, his helmet. He was trending. I'm like, what's going on over there? They got a backdrop, is sitting in there, somebody talking. It's like, hey, this is really nothing was seen at the time though. Pitch black in the back, but we heard sounds. Nothing was seen. They were talking about it. They're like, this is here. I'm like, holy man, this seems like very serious. This dude's got a fucking flak jacket on while he's doing this entire thing. There's explosions going on behind him. Ukraine, pretty developed country, big country. This is a big time deal. Here we go. So I was like, is this real? I mean, this can't be. I mean,
no way.
This is 2022. There's no way that this is actually happening. Are we serious? So then you go to Fox News, and you turn on Fox News, which is representing the right, and they're like, this is a fucking state of war.
Real.
This is. I'm like, oh no, So then I go, let's go check out MSNBC. What do they got going on? They're also this is a problem.
Real. This is real.
So like all night, I was almost like flipping back and forth trying to find like news that would go against like me actually feeling a little freaked out. Everybody seems
Couldn't
to be on
find it.
Yeah. Everyone's freaked out.
Everybody seems to be freaked out. Just want to let everybody know, I don't think any of us have the ability to control anything.
I don't think so
we don't.
either.
And if you're watching, you don't have the ability to control anything.
We do have people that watch in Ukraine, actually. I looked into our YouTube stats. I mean, there is. So T's and P's. To fucking everybody that are out there. And let's get into some sports. Troy Aikman is leaving Fox.
Whoa, crazy.
This guy said, I'm out of here. I will see you later. Now, Troy Aikman's name, and I think we might have a little bit more inside information in this entire thing than most people, because there is a new platform that is being developed with the NFL. They are a digital platform. They are Amazon. Okay, we have had conversations with Amazon where there has been rumors about who's going to Amazon, what's going to Amazon. I don't think an Amazon list has officially been made of who's going to be the Amazon network. I'm not sure, but there was indications at one point that not from Amazon, but from the entire. Whenever I'm lucky to be in those conversations, you hear what other people think other people are doing. Right. So there's like a lot of, we're thinking this is going to happen, so this is going to happen. Troy was linked to Amazon very early.
Yeah.
Him and Al Michaels were linked to Amazon very, very, very early. It was like, holy shit, Amazon's coming in a big way. They're bringing Al Michaels in. They're bringing Troy Aikman in. It was all hearsay. Amazon never said this, but this is what everybody was assuming was going to take place. Then Troy Aikman gave an interview a couple weeks ago where he said the numbers of how many people are watching games do matter, because in my eyes, that means how many people are interested in the game. And the only people that are interested in games are good games. So that means you're getting good games. That Fox crew, Joe Buck, Troy Aikman, they've gotten good games a lot. That primetime 4 o'clock spot gets good games. Sunday Night Football gets good games. There's other crews that get shit games.
Yeah.
Okay?
Oh, yeah.
Shit games nobody cares about. That's why the one crew is the one crew. You kind of get to pick and choose. Now, Monday Night Football has been different. They don't get to flex those games. Thursday Night Football, you don't get to flex those games. And it going to Amazon, going to digital, everybody's assuming the numbers are going to be down. There's still going to be millions and millions of people watching, but it will be nowhere near the number that it would bring in on Fox, which is on every single television, no matter how smart the TV is, how dumb the TV is. Fox is on there. So that was a question that was asked to Troy Aikman. And when he said the numbers would kind of, be something he thinks about because the numbers would be indicative of how important the games were, that was kind of an interesting thing for me to read, because it was like, oh, I thought this was already a done deal, him going to Amazon. It sounds like he is not there yet. He's actually throwing out some reasons on why he wouldn't go to Amazon. I'm like, I didn't know we're there. Then there was a report that ESPN might try to get Al Michaels from Amazon as a deal is wrapping up or imminent potentially with Amazon. It's like, holy shit, Amazon doesn't have Al Michaels. Troy Aikman's saying, hey, I'm not going to go there. So it really started leading to the next questions. Okay, so what is Amazon going to do?
Yeah. Plan B.
What is Amazon going to do if this is the case? But I still felt that this was all a leverage play. I thought Troy was saying the number thing as a leverage play contractually for Amazon. I thought Al Michaels being reported to potentially going to ESPN, I thought it was a leverage play. I thought this was all for negotiating reasons. And yesterday, Troy Aikman, $17.5 million a year, 5 years, going to do Monday Night Football. Congrats to Troy Aikman.
Let's go, Troy.
Listen, obviously, Joe and Troy are a crew that we enjoy here. And I know some people hate Joe.
Yeah.
Some people hate Troy as well because they've been around for a long time. They've had to call the worst moments of your team's existence.
Right.
Their voices are the soundtrack to some of your worst memories. So there's some people that naturally do not like any of the commentators because they either hate their team or love their team. As somebody that is just watched and listen to what people were saying and how they're saying. Like, I think Joe and Troy are very consistent. I think they call out stuff. I think they talk about refs being bad. I think they're rather relatable. Troy's called beer.
Yeah.
What?
What?
I mean, he's doing that entire. That's by the way, choreographed.
Very much so.
So that whole thing happens there. But in my eyes, I thought he was going to Amazon. Now he's setting the table at $17.5 million. What did Romo get? 17?
17.
He's getting 17.5. So he said, I'll go over. It's Monday Night Football. It's the biggest show in town. You guys need a change. We all know that. No offense to Levy, Greasy, or Riddick, but offense to Greasy, Levy, and Riddick because what they just did to Troy Aikman and also everybody else at ESPN, by the way.
Yeah.
You know, hey, we're going to go to Fox to actually get this thing fixed. We're going to pluck him out of there, and Troy is an OG. But him signing that deal resets the market for everybody.
Yep.
Resets probably strategies for some places. And now the question is, who will be the play-by-play?
Yeah.
Who will be the person that replaces him at Fox? Joe Buck is allegedly potentially getting looked at to maybe be on the move.
Yeah.
So then they're talking about maybe Sean Payton, maybe Greg Olson, maybe whoever going in there. Maybe Drew Brees is getting traded out of NBC. I mean, it is just... all hell is breaking loose. And if you're one of these commentators or one of these big names, you have to feel pretty good about the spot that you're sitting in right now. Troy is going to make Monday Night Football better.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Sure.
Okay, that is who's the play-by-play, and how does this have ripple effects everywhere else? Is the question now that you have to ask.
Yeah, I have no idea who Troy, maybe if he wants to be with someone, if they bring him in, but like Collinsworth, you think he might get plucked? Go to be Bucks guy now? Like a lot of plug and plays?
Because, what's his name's waiting at
Drew Brees.
Drew Brees and
Tirico.
Tirico. Like,
Yeah, Tirico. Somebody mentioned Tirico getting traded. It was like, no, Tirico. Now Michael's leaving. Now Tirico's finally doing
Yeah.
Sunday Night Football. So he's going there. And I know this is probably much more important to our worlds than everybody else's worlds. But these are the voices of the NFL. And whenever you hear a terrible broadcasting crew, you should not have to mute an NFL game.
Exactly.
Especially if it's the only one that's on.
Yeah, a prime time.
Well, not just prime time, but also like if you're forced to any NFL game, you should not have to mute it because the people that are talking to $100 and some billion, okay, going into this, you should be able to watch a game alongside. They should take that serious. Like the people you're putting in to voice that thing, they do take serious, obvious. I got a D score by one of the consultants.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
In the Lions Packers game, Week 17, no playoff implications on the line for anybody.
No, Aaron got hurt on the first
got hurt on the
drive.
second play. It was 10
trending.
degrees. Trending for like 7-8 hours. Yeah, Prater threw a touchdown. I got a D by them. So they do take it very serious. Not by Fox, by their a consultant of the booth. So there is a lot that goes into play. But there's some people that are just god awful and should not be calling plays or games. And then there's some people that are obviously separating for themselves from everybody else, and they're about to get broken off everywhere.
You want to talk about a huge ripple effect? A lot of people went over to the Mannings last year because of muting the main broadcast. Like if Troy's there, I'm going to want to listen to Troy.
I think so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and the Mannings are signed through 2024 now, too.
Yeah,
which
it's signed a
is
2-year deal. I wonder what their money's worth for that deal. And it probably goes into the Peyton places and
Right.
Eli's
places and Hope's places.
What?
Yep.
Abby Wambach's
places.
Yeah, right.
All everybody's that it's probably a bundle package in that entire thing. But if they get a great crew, which it seems like they're going to, no matter who the play-by-play person is, Troy will be able to save somebody. That is an interesting dynamic there on watching those back-to-back.
And I don't think they're going to do that, right? They just showed like, hey, we're gonna commit to this thing. We're gonna spend a lot of money on it. I don't know why you would, reset the market and pay Troy the most ever, and then nickel and dime who's going to be doing the play-by-play. I think he's going to have a pretty big say in that. But it is interesting because we weren't talking about ESPN at all. Like this wasn't even a possibility that Troy was going to leave Fox and go to ESPN to do Monday Night Football.
He's going to Amazon.
Yeah.
Troy was going to Amazon.
Exactly. And the fact that, I think all of us were just like, oh, I guess, Levy, Riddick, and Greasy are just going to do Monday Night Football again. But,
it's a big deal. It's
awesome.
By the way, what's Amazon going to do?
Good question.
Good question.
That might be.
What are you going to do? I'm like pretty interested.
Yeah.
I'm
They
like
might be
pretty
screwed.
I'm pretty intrigued.
And I wonder if they thought that, hey, it was a done deal. We're going to have Al and Troy, and we're going to be able to just pick up and run and go with it, and people are going to tune in because that'll be the best booth in football.
The people at Amazon, by the way, I enjoy the humans that I've talked to. But I have asked a couple questions like, season's coming up, right?
Yeah.
Like, what are you guys going to do?
What's the plan here?
30 weeks away.
It's not that far out.
No.
You guys are launching an entire like network almost. They'll figure it out. And there's a lot of people that are retired that are signing deals with people. You know, Tom Brady might want to get in.
Yeah.
I mean, you have no idea what's going to
Alan Pat.
There's no.
Pat would be
I can't call games.
unbelievable.
I can't call games.
Why not?
Not yet. Have to be done with this show to call games. Because that's like a 3-day, 4-day thing.
yeah.
You know what I mean? You got to
Yeah.
travel out there. And I've appreciated everybody that has tweeted. It's not as many as they have in the past. A lot of people have tweeted like, "Oh, like, you should be getting that gig." It's like, nah, I have zero wants to do that gig after doing Thursday Night Football in a remote setting, traveling
Full-time
around
job.
those towns. Yeah, it is a lot of travel, a lot of work. And I appreciate the fact that Troy Aikman is like, you're going to have to pay me $17.5 million. You want me to do this?
Yeah, and now Al Michaels. I mean, he should say you're going to have to pay me $25 million to Amazon, because without Al Michaels, that Amazon broadcast
And is Al Michaels even there yet?
True. Right.
Yeah, it
We don't
doesn't
even
seem
know.
like it. Yeah.
All right, let's pivot away from our sport. Let's go to a sport that's dead.
Oh, yeah,
Ladies and
unfortunately.
gentlemen, the authority on America's pastime, which might be left in the past time,
Oh, no.
because deals cannot be made. There is currently a lockout happening between the owners and the players of the MLB, and there's only one person that has all the information for us. Great friend of the show, ladies and gentlemen, Jet Passett. What up, Jet? Troy Aikman's trying to reset the market over there at ESPN. I hope you go ahead and knock on some doors. You know what I mean?
Hey, I love it. If that deal gets done, that's a great new teammate, and we'll take it. Speaking of teammates, though, Pat,
Yeah, buddy.
it's been interesting. During the lockout, I haven't had to go and cover spring training, so I got to have Valentine's Day with my wife. We've been married 15 years. Valentine's Day for the first time, because I'm always at spring training. It was fantastic.
Love. Romance. We love
I bring
love.
this
Yeah.
up because I know love, what real love looks like, or I thought I knew what real love looked like until I checked my Twitter account last night. Boys, bring up the photo. You could zoom in on Gump's face right now. Has there been anybody more in love with anybody than Gump is with John Hamm right now? Look at how happy he is.
Got a baby grandpa.
Look at that.
Thank you, John.
Teach him how to sacrifice bunt, don't you?
Oh,
Just a happy guy at all
jeez.
times, Jet. You know me.
I think it was because of the big bat. You know, he loves a good big bat. Jen, I think that's the entire thing. But that conversation with John Hamm last night, I don't know if you got to watch it all. I know you saw the picture of it on Twitter. He was amazing, Jet. Like, by the way, Gumpy's not the only one that's in love with John Hamm right now.
Yeah.
I am as well after listening to this interview. He's like
Okay,
one of the
so,
sexiest
like,
people on
full
earth.
confession,
Yeah.
back, God, it must have been almost 10 years ago now. John Hamm did a movie called $1 Million Arm. It was about a couple of kids in India, one of whom, Rinku Singh, I believe, went on to become a wrestler in WWE. But John Hamm's doing a movie on this whole thing. And as part of the promotional tactics, they invited a group of sports writers to be extras in the movie. And I was among the group who got invited down there. And I have to say, Gump, I'm kind of with you. Like, John Hamm in person is a sight to behold. He's a devastatingly handsome man. Like, that's just the reality of the situation. I'm comfortable enough to say that. I feel good about that.
Yeah.
But I see why Gumpy is as in love as he is.
Yeah, Gumpy, I mean, that moment, I took like 4 or 5 different photos, and that was definitely the most Gumpy. I mean, look how happy Gumpy is there. It was a good question. It was a good comment. He sat there for like 50 minutes, headphones on, camera sitting on his stomach, and he knew everything about hockey, had like actual takes and actual opinions. He was so wide up. He confirmed that he would want to do the Town 2.
Yep.
He basically said, like, hey, Ben Affleck, if you want to do it, I'm 100% in. Talked about being at Wrigley and how awesome it was. I mean, he was in. I didn't know much about him. He actually is like coolest dude on earth, I think, man. It's we're very lucky.
The only negative thing about him is he's a St. Louis Cardinals fan. But aside from that, he's great.
So you don't like the Cardinals yet? Let's dive right into it. Let's dive into
Unbiased
baseball.
reporter.
Obviously, this national
I'm-
journalist,
I'm-
the voice of baseball,
Jeez.
doesn't like the small
Contractually
town.
obligated to
Hates
say
the Cardinals.
that. I have
Unbiased
to.
reporter.
So why don't you like the Cardinals? What happened with the Cardinals? Or you got no problems with them?
Around. I'm from Kansas City. I have a 20-year running joke where people from St. Louis think I hate the Cardinals because I live in Kansas City. So, No, nothing against the Cardinals at all, other than they suck.
Well, Tone Diggs from Pittsburgh, he hates Cleveland, and one guy last night from Cleveland said he's going to punch him right in the mouth for not liking Cleveland. He's a bit. Oh, geez, so you're sticking with it. All right. Anyways, Jet, let's get into the baseball here. I mean, you're the guy that everybody looks to find out what the hell's going on in a sport that, you know, has been dwindling over the years in popularity for whatever reason. I believe, because I did not play and grow up in it, game's too long, too slow, who cares? But there are diehard fans of baseball. Ty is one of them. Gumpy is one of them. You obviously cover it. And right now is devastating times in baseball. Hockey went through this a long time ago and it almost killed the league. It almost completely killed the league. Now, granted, they've been able to come back and restore faith in the fans and everything like that. But right now, baseball is... Their fans are even struggling to even have loyalty right now, right? Isn't that something that's real? And do the owners and the players recognize that, you think?
It's very real, and I don't think the owners and the players recognize that. I think both of them are staked out in positions that are so strident, that are inside of this bubble where we're trying to divide up billions and billions of dollars, and sometimes you do that and forget about the fans. And I understand why each side is doing what it's doing. The players are as strident as they are because they have the moral argument in this case. The reality is the way that the league has treated them over the last decade or so, salaries down for 4 straight years, service time manipulation, so some of the best players in the game don't get called up when they should. Tanking, which long before it was happening in the NBA and the NFL, you saw it happening in Major League Baseball. All of these things leading to a worse game, and the players are sitting there saying, we're tired of this shit. Like, we are just tired of it right now. And I was talking with a player leader a few days ago, and his whole thing was, we just want to stop being screwed. That was his message. We feel like, even though, yes, we are in privileged positions playing this game, making tons of money in many cases and doing this in front of an adoring public. At the same time, we want what's fair.
Yeah.
And they don't feel like the offers that they're getting from the owners are fair right now. On the other hand, the owners are like, hey, we have a great situation and we don't want to screw it up because they've seen what's happened before when they've done that. So they're holding on as hard and as strong as they can to all of the things that they've got. And the problem with this is you've got two sides that are entrenched in their positions and so entrenched in those positions that they may not be seeing the forest for the trees. And unfortunately, if baseball loses games, Pat, you're going to start losing fans, not just casuals. You're going to start losing fans who have stuck by the game when it's been at low points, when it hasn't been as good as it is right now. And doing that with everything that you just said earlier about where the game is could be catastrophic.
Yeah, so, by the way, I appreciate you saying everything you just say and letting us kind of in on what you're hearing and not hearing. Every time you come on here, I feel like I legitimately learned something, and I'm very, very, very thankful for that. With that being said, anytime a lockout happens or there's collective bargaining negotiations, it seems like the public, or in this case, the baseball purists, think that the baseball players are a bunch of spoiled brats, right? That's kind of how the public narrative has always been in all of these type of public negotiations. With that being said, whenever they say they're getting screwed, you hear the big number for all the big-time players and what they're getting. Sure. But there's a lot of other players there, right, that aren't signing the hundreds of millions of dollars deals that are also being represented in these negotiations. When you're talking about the service time and the call-ups and the tanking and trying to put people in bad spots, while these dudes are also on the road, right? They're on the road 200 some days a year. Yeah. Like this is an entire thing. You would think that the public would at least side with the players a little bit. Is that the case? I don't know baseball purists enough. Is this standard lockout stuff where the fans are on the ownership side and telling the players to shut up, or do you feel like this has been rather split?
I think it's changing, Pat. And I don't know if baseball is some sort of a forebear for the future. But when I look at polling back from 1994, I think there was a New York Times poll done, and of the respondents, 40% said they were on the owner side, 20% said they were on the player side, and the other 40% didn't know, didn't care. There's been one poll that's out, and I suppose it shows just how baseball has fallen in the eyes of the public, because this poll had 24% on the side of the players and only 11% on the side of the owners. And I think the reason behind that is twofold. Number one, social media has completely changed the dynamics here. And with social media, whereas in the past you had corporate media that had been around forever and for whatever reason felt aligned with owners, there was nobody there in the public sphere to check that. There is now. And the people who are checking it sometimes are even louder or have even bigger voices. But the second part, and I think this is even more important, we don't like billionaires like we used to. I'm dead serious.
Very valid.
Very
valid.
I think, I'm not trying to get political here, but if Bernie Sanders has a legacy in America, I think it's opening people's eyes about what a billionaire had to do to become a billionaire. Generally speaking, you don't become a billionaire by playing nice. You don't become a billionaire without stepping on people's throats, without kicking them when they're down. And I'm not saying all billionaires are bad people necessarily. What I'm saying is if you have reached that point where you have the obscene wealth that nobody could possibly fathom, and you have the great divide in America where so many people are lacking, are wanting, are struggling, well, we're going to look at billionaires who are trying to hold on to their money and trying to keep it away from the working man. Granted, the working man in baseball is not your average $15 an hour laborer. It happens to be someone who is incredibly skilled, gifted, and has worked unbelievably hard to get where he is. Nevertheless, he is still labor. He is still a worker. He is still part of that rank and file that so many people out there, I think, can actually understand. And so I think our evolution as a society toward casting aspersions and looking sort of askew at billionaires actually plays in the player's favor in this case.
I think Bernie was driving in a $250,000 car whenever he said that. But I do believe, I am thankful that is something that's real.
No. But Pat, okay. So I'm glad you brought up cars. Did you see yesterday there was a tweet from the Associated Press about how Max Scherzer arrived at a Porsche to the meetings yesterday? Now, Max Scherzer, remember, one of the best pitchers of his generation, just signed a contract for the largest average annual value a year at $43 million. What, do you expect him to show up in a Volkswagen? Like, number one, of course he's not going to.
He's
but
a successful man. Nobody's going to take him serious. Yeah.
The context that was not included there is that the owners who showed up did so in private jets, right? They're the ones who have the most money. And so I think something like that getting called out, which wouldn't have happened in the past, the AP got absolutely flayed for it, and rightfully so. Because you know what? If Max Scherzer isn't driving a Porsche, I'm going to ask him, what's wrong with you?
Yeah, and by the way, back in the day, that would have led to an entire narrative conversation about, oh, look at this spoiled man who shows up in a Porsche that was given to him by these owners he's talking to. And that narrative is then force-fed into everybody's brain. And this is, it has to be true if all these people of importance, media, sports media, baseball writers, that would become an entire thing. And to your point, with the way social media is, you can kind of combat all of that. I loved your take, and I didn't mean to bury the hypocritical stance of Bernie Sanders, a guy who wanted to tax people 90% and everything like that. I mean, very fascinating. Where's that money going then? To your paycheck, basically, which comes from the government. So, I mean, that's a fascinating thing where you're negotiating your contract up every single time. But I do like the fact that is kind of exposed. And I feel like we've been a society that has been against the man. I come from a working class family. I think a lot of people have against the man. But even more so, it has gotten heightened and broadened. And I do believe Bernie Sanders is a part of that entire initiative. And if that is going to carry into sports negotiations, that's great for the players. With that being said, do the billionaires give a single fuck at this point? Like, I was reading through your thread.
No. Yeah.
Ty read through your thread at that point. Ty read through it. The billionaires also, if they didn't, step on people to get all the way up there, they were either born in it and they have no idea what it's like to not be, or to remain there once they get up there. They have the greatest lawyers and the greatest clauses in contracts. Like, that has always been a thing in negotiations, especially at these high levels. We read through your thread, Ty did, and you're saying they're $50 million off a year for 5 years, so it's like $250 million they're off. Is there a deal that's going to be made? Because I guess if they don't make a deal by Monday, you guys start canceling games, and that's when you're saying it's going to become a real problem. Are they anywhere near? From what it sounds like, they're nowhere close. Is that an accurate depiction? And how do they get a deal done?
That's a completely accurate depiction. There's nothing right now. There's been no movement. It's been inching on both sides. And it's been a lot like a game of chicken, honestly. They're just waiting for someone to blink. They're waiting for someone to make the big move. And the owners say, why should we make a big move? We've made the more incremental gains toward you. We've given up more toward you than you've given us. Now, I don't know that that's true entirely, but that's the owner's perspective at this point. The players are like, okay, we're in a system that's garbage right now. And granted, Pat, it is garbage in some ways of their own volition. Let's not forget, collective bargaining agreements are two-sided documents. Like, the things that are in place right now were negotiated by the Players Association, by MLB. But it's a matter of whether they're being enforced in bad faith. It's a matter, more than anything, I think, are you doing things by the letter of the law or by the spirit of the law? And the letter of the law says, yes, it is okay for a team to hold a player down, even if he's major league ready, through April, right? You can hold him down because doing so allows you to get an extra year at the end where he's not a free agent. So the way it works, I'm going to get a little wonky here. I'll try and get through this very quickly. You reach free agency in Major League Baseball after 6 years, 6 full seasons. To get a full season of service time, you need 172 days. What the Cubs did back in 2015 was they sent Chris Bryant out, even though he was the best player in the Cactus League, sent him out to AAA, and then called him up so that he spent 171 days on the roster. He was 1 day short of reaching free agency a year earlier. Now, he filed a grievance.
Genius.
Filed a grievance. The union went and argued on his behalf. The league went and argued on their behalf. And the arbitrator ruled in favor of the league because the way that the rules are written allow for that. That is the letter of the law. The spirit of the law says that if you're going to have a 6-year reserve period, make it 6 years. Don't make it 7 years. And that's why the moral component of what the players are doing right now is as compelling as it is, because you see these, I'm not even going to call them microaggressions, they're macroaggressions that the league is perpetuating on the players. And the players sit there and say, I'm done with this. Like, this is our game. You're the laundry, we're the product. And the fact that they are able to say that, and I think more people are recognizing that, hearing it, acknowledging it, gives them more power than they've had in the past. The problem is, how often, Pat, do moral arguments win financial negotiations? Not very.
That's the whole thing about a lot of stuff. Like, the internet can win a narrative, okay? But in court, just like you said, the letter of the law there, the spirit of a lot of things is something I think we all are striving for. But the actual, like, there, and I always say this, hey, fairy tale land, we want this to be true, okay? Like, we are not against this, we wish this was true. But in reality, hey, this is where we live. Reality, that's not going to work. Like, that's just not the way it is. It's happening right now for Brian Flores in the NFL because of a contract he signed on February 4th, 2019. And his lawyers are trying to paint the narrative on the internet, which I appreciate because that is a problem in the NFL. And we do have to get that fixed. But the way they're going about it, it's like there's no chance he wins. Like, with the way they're acting. Like, in actuality, in real life, we wish it would work because the spirit of things, but in the actuality, you have to, this is just the way the world exists. And the way that you're describing this is exactly what was happening between the NFL and the NFLPA when we had our lockout, right? We wanted everything to be in paper because in paper is the only thing that actually matters. It's right. You have to always expect the way that something can be taken the absolute worst. So people are called dramatic for that, but there's reasons for that because you have.
No, I'm so glad you brought that up because that to me is one of the hearts of the issue here. It's incentive versus guarantee. So let's look at service time manipulation. Chris Bryant is the poster boy in that. But listen, there have been others. There have been plenty of guys who have had their service time manipulated. The players want to address this. And the league's solution to addressing that is to say to a team, if you have a player up at the beginning of the season and he spends the whole year on the roster and goes and wins an award or finishes top 3 in Rookie of the Year, something along those lines, then he gets a full year of service because he's been with the team, and the team gets 2 draft picks, one in the domestic draft and one in international draft that may or may not happen. The players look at this and they're like, no, because the reality is those picks that they're offering are not equivalent in value to that year of a good player at the end of his 6-year reserve period. So the players are saying, you know what? If we come up, no matter when we come up, if we succeed, we get top 5 Rookie of the Year. If we're one of the 7 best at our position, doesn't matter when you came up, you automatically get a year of service. You retroactively can add to it. The players want the guarantee because they don't trust the teams to follow the incentives.
Well, you can't trust anything that's being negotiated. Can't. You literally can't trust until it's on paper. You literally you can't trust anything because the amount of clauses and the amount of things that they can get on the back end. I like the fact that the players are like, no, you can't just say like we will do this. Like you won't. We know you won't because it's been displayed in the past. But they got to get a deal done, and it doesn't sound like they're anywhere close. Go ahead, Ty.
Yeah, Jet. Bob Manfred has become a punchline, and he's just a doofus and a dipshit, and we all make fun of him. But do you think if there were to be a change in leadership and they did get a new commissioner, like would that do anything to help this process? I feel like he's just hampered it the entire way through. Everyone knows he's just a lapdog for the owners. So would that even matter? Do you see something like that happening? And in your heart of hearts, do you think that they're going to get a deal done by Monday, or are we looking at a situation where we're definitely not going to have 162 games?
Ty, let me ask you a question first. Do you know when the last time Rob Manfred was in a collective bargaining meeting?
No, I don't.
October.
It was April.
Oh, okay.
It's been almost a year now. He has stayed away, and he
smart.
stayed away because, generally
He's an idiot.
speaking, the commissioner doesn't go in on those sorts of things, even though Rob Manfred has been a big part of it in the past and was a labor negotiator himself.
Ain't an idiot.
You know, I think Rob Manfred is one of the best things the players have going for them because he's someone around whom they can rally. Like, you want to get solidarity among players, bring up Rob Manfred's name. Even like the most pacifistic guys who I've known for years and really don't care about anything. What are you counting, Pat?
Perpetuating macroaggression, pacifistic. I mean, the word.
All right. See, hold on a second. Do you remember them?
Yeah, dude. We have like one of the. I mean, this thing's like an elephant up here. All right, I'll use that on Friday. I'll use that on SmackDown. I mean, this guy's perpetuating a macroaggression. Normally, he's a pretty pacifist,
but not tonight.
Not tonight. Sorry about it.
No, I think Manfred honestly is good for the players, and the reality is, let's remember what a commissioner is. A commissioner is not a figurehead entirely, but a commissioner is a worker for the 30 owners. He answers to them. And, you know, the most effective commissioners can sort of cajole and guide and push them to where he wants them to be. But in the end, he has to answer to them. So I think anybody who is installed in that position might have a better ability to speak publicly and you know, not put his foot in his mouth like Manfred has any number of times. But is it going to be any better? No. In terms of the season, Ty, I'm not confident right now. I mean, they have a lot of work to do over the next 96 hours or so if they want to get a deal done. Now, that doesn't mean a deal can't get done, but someone's going to have to make a big move. And I just don't know which side's going to do it at this point. I mean, yesterday MLB came out and said unequivocally, if there's not a deal by February 28th, we are going to miss games. Is that the sort of thing that pushes the players perhaps to go and make the move? Or are the players going to sit there, call his bluff, and say, you know what, we feel like even if we are losing money for this, that the moral stand that we're taking.
Yeah.
The thing that we're doing for future generations of baseball players is going to be worth it. And that is a risk. That is a big, big risk to take, because the risk is people just don't come back. They say, we live in 2022. We have every kind of channel streaming out there. We have YouTube. We can go and watch Pat. We can watch other sports, entertainment. It's about to be summer. We can go outside. Like, there are so many great things to do. Why am I going to waste my time on something that doesn't care about me?
So for you guys in this world, for us, for instance, Jeff Saturday was the one cajoling through it all to, talk to Kraft and them. And allegedly he's the one that got the deal done. Like, hey, NFLPA lawyers, all right. And to the NFL lawyers, all right, let's just go directly here, media. And he was kind of like the face of almost being the one who said, all right, enough. Our guys have already lost too much money. We're about to lose the game. The fans have already turned against us as players, but as a sport as a whole. Who would be the player that would do that, you think? Is it Max Scherzer showing up in the Porsche, or who would be the person that would have to get that thing done?
Max Scherzer is going to show up in the Porsche, kick him in the stomach, give him a stunner, and then throw double birds at him. That's Max Scherzer.
Imagine if he did. Imagine if Scherzer did. We watched. So every once in a while, we'll just watch old Stone Cold clips on YouTube.
Yep.
There was one where that glass breaks and he walks out, doesn't say anything. He walks into the ring, boom, boom, stuns somebody, bang, flips him off, walks out, and the music didn't stop. And just he leaves the entire thing.
All time.
It was one of the greatest things. I forgot it happened. What a magical. That's who Scherzer is, though, you're saying. He's the, who would be the player, you think? Is there any players that are going to end up, and who would be the owner? Who's the owner that is kind of guiding all this? Obviously not that dumbass Bob Nutting. Like, who are the two you think that we could look to potentially get a deal done?
It's funny. I've talked with people who have been in negotiations in the past, and they talked about these back channel sessions that went on. There is no back channeling going on in baseball right now. And I think that's, you bring up a great point there. The fact that they don't have anybody who's doing the back channeling at this point, I think speaks to the divide between the sides. And maybe that person comes when they start losing money. But until then, I don't know who it is anywhere, frankly, because the disgust going in both directions is unlike anything I have seen. The frustration, the disappointment, they both just feel like the other side sucks, and that they are intractable and not willing to move, and that the other side is the one that's hard. Yeah, write it down. Intractable, INTRACTABLE.
Is it IBLE or ABLE? Yeah, ABLE.
Yeah, you got it. ABLE. Yeah, you got it.
I'm not a pretty speller too.
They like. I wish, as someone who wants to see baseball games, that there was someone who could bridge the sides. I just don't know who it is at this point, because they are so angry at each other.
Interesting. Very fascinating. Go ahead, Connor.
Yeah, Jed, do you see a world where maybe they just kind of get rid of single A, double A, triple A and go with like a more of a G League like the NBA? Or are they going to try and save everybody in this scenario?
I mean, what would be the difference between the G League and the minor leagues? I almost feel like they're kind of the same at this point, right?
Well, like tons of teams and tons more players in the minor leagues, correct?
Okay. Yeah, no, they're like, if they did that, it would be catastrophic. Just because in the NBA, like, you generally know who's a dude, right? Like, you see a couple guys from Europe come back every now and again and wind up in the league. But in baseball, there are diamonds in the rough all over the place. And the fact that they have most organizations have 160, 170, 180 minor leaguers in place right now. There's no doubt Major League Baseball wants to contract some of those. I mean, they were trying to get a proposal through the union that would have allowed them.
Oh, gone.
Late.
No. I was actually early. That thing
Gone. Pulled it.
right there, bro.
Right off the pole.
Should have seen what park I was in. Dude.
Rolled over it.
It's in a river.
Yankee Stadium,
Hey,
short
yeah.
porch.
That's in a river.
Yeah, in Yankee Stadium, that's gone. I seen old buddy hit a grand salami
That's
that
right.
way.
That's right, Johnny Damon.
I was there 2 rows behind him, man. Took a piss next to Giuliani. Did not wash his hands. He got
He didn't, yeah.
He got the
Purell.
bacteria
Yep.
on his way out there.
You
Anyways,
took a piss next to Giuliani.
dude, it was
Yeah.
crazy, bro. It was crazy. So we, I don't want to interrupt anything you're saying, obviously, but It was a great time.
That was an incredible day.
That was the best baseball I've ever seen in my entire
Incredible
life.
day.
We got these hilarious seats from SeatGeek. Shout out to SeatGeek.
Shout out to SeatGeek.
Shout out to SeatGeek. We moved a lot of tickets for SeatGeek, because they are the greatest ticket buying platform on earth, and they repaid us with these seats to this fucking Yankees playoff game where we were in there. We were in that area.
Fancy area.
Yeah.
You were in the legend. You were in the legends.
Oh,
yeah.
And by the way, we are a natural group of people that don't show up early enough to really enjoy the entireties of it. We showed up as the game was starting. It was like, oh my God, we missed like 4 courses here. They had like a full buffet. They had everything. There was crabs over here. There was prime ribeye over here. There was an entire sandwich section over here. Drinks over here. I mean, it was gorgeous. I don't know how much those tickets were, but
They were a lot.
They were a lot. We're in there. We're sitting there. We're hanging out. All of a sudden, we realize, we're on TV every single time a right-handed batter's playing. That's how close we are. So I chug a beer, and maybe the quickest beer I've ever chugged in the history of anything. We're trying to enjoy it. Ty Schmidt, massive Yankees fan. Old cousin, Giancarlo.
It was Didi Gregorius.
Didi, hits a grand slam right in front of us. We go banana. It was awesome. But Giuliani and I, about 6th inning, the bladder was talking, go in there, and it was normally a pretty active bathroom, and I was waiting in line, and then I get in, and then there's Ty's there, and I think Foxy was there, and Ziti was there.
Yep.
So, but nobody else ends up in the bathroom. Like, we're kind of in there quietly. It was because there was like security shutting down the bathroom almost. Giuliani comes moseying in. He almost does like the leg lift up the shorts into the urinal, and then he just walked out. I was, oh shit, is what I actually said. Oh shit, while I was peeing. And then he said, gentlemen, how you doing? And then he just turned around, walked out, got a little hand sanitizer, and he was gone. And then the bathroom was back open in public. It was crazy. It would just so happen to be in there. But
the security really did a terrible job, didn't they? Like, if there were a bunch of people in there, who needs security to take a piss?
Well, also, like, we would be the people that you would not want in there. But we were already in there. I just think, I don't know how it works, but I'll tell you what, gentlemen, he's right. Gentlemen.
Cordial.
Gentlemen. And then you're just fucking out of there. So whatever the case, love baseball. I took your pitch fucking yard. Neither here nor there to get this entire thing back. Go ahead, Tone.
Jet, I haven't heard of the players come out and said like how short a spring training can be, depending on when the deal gets done, if they can start on time. Like, do they need the normal allotment of time, or it could be just a couple weeks? Have they talked about that?
Great question.
Thank you.
Major League Baseball is taking the perspective that you need 4 full weeks of spring training. They're basing that on 2020 when they had a 3-week spring training after they implemented the season to 60 games. And the argument from the league side is that injuries went up in 2020. Therefore, we want 1 week longer spring training, which is why they're putting that deadline at February 28th. The idea would be for players to report March 3rd, and then March 31st would be opening day 4 weeks later. So that's the perspective behind that. Players think spring training is too long already, frankly. Like, it's not like the old days where dudes would show up and have to loosen their arms throughout spring training. I mean, guys train year-round right now, and pitchers are going to be ready. So I think that there could be a 3-week spring training. I think the idea of predicting injuries is honestly folly to begin with. They're athletes. They're going to get hurt. It's going to be freakish. It's going to suck when it happens. But I just don't know that the difference in injuries makes it such that you cut off a potential week in negotiation.
All right. Well, we appreciate you so much for stopping by, Jet. Please tell the kid we said what's up. And, you're the man, dude. Hopefully baseball will get something done. Doesn't feel like it's going to happen, though.
Is everyone, like, are you guys going to be doing the show at WrestleMania?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
I think I might come to town and swing by.
Oh. You're going to be at WrestleMania?
You got to be quiet because the little one doesn't know, and it's going to be for him and for his birthday. So announcing it on a national show, probably a shitty thing for a dad to do if he wants to keep it a secret. But I want to get ready for that face-to-face meeting, and I'm going to strike you out, McAfee, and it's going to be embarrassing.
Wow.
Okay. I mean, no need to end it that way. You're already proven to be a bad dad. No need to say things at the end. But no, we'll be down there, man. That'll be great to see you. I can't wait for that. That'll be cool. And hopefully the kid, WrestleManias are incredible.
Unbelievable.
They are. The whole city gets taken over, basically. Yeah. The amount of moments that happen in there. It'll be great to see you, man. We'll be pumped about it. All right, we'll see you then. Ladies, hopefully they'll have a deal done by then.
No
Ladies
way.
and gentlemen, Jet Passer.
Yeah.
All right, we got to get to a break. A lot of baseball talk.
Yeah.
Yeah, baseball.
Covered it probably for the next.
Scandals.
I was gonna say, won't need to talk about it again until probably mid July.
That's kind of what we do with Jet. We talk to him like every month and a half, 2 months.
Yeah.
What's going on with baseball?
Unless there's a scandal.
That's big. And by the way,
That's the best.
that's where we are right now.
That's right.
The game doesn't exist.
When you love
Yeah.
baseball.
The league stinks. League's dead.
It is.
Jet Passan's the man, though. He is a good voice for baseball.
Yes,
I mean-
he needs to save it. It's on him. I didn't want to say it, but if we don't have a season,
It's on it.
it's on Jet.
Yeah, because he's talking to both sides.
Exactly.
He said there's no backdoor channel talking. It's like they're doing it to you.
You are the back channel, my friend.
Jet, save baseball, Jet Passan.
Please.
All of us.
That's what we'll tell him at WrestleMania.
Yeah, exactly.
Shout out to his kid, by the way.
Yeah.
He's going to
Shout
be
out.
pumped.
It's an international show, please. Speaking of international, hope everybody's all right.
Yep.
Yeah.
T's and P's.
We'll be back on the other side of this break with more bullshit to hopefully distract from the real world. That's our gig. That's our job. We understand our role, and we'll continue to do so. See you in about 10 on Sirius. Cheers. So, we fucking home run right there.
Yeah.
That was a yabo.
I thought for a second you were maybe going to break it like
51.
51 and come back
40.
with 9 seconds.
Well,
yeah.
to be clear, I was.
Okay.
And then Zito was like, a minute till actual hard break. Okay. We'll
Do that one.
wait.
Okay.
That's why Ziti is such a fucking dog.
you,
man.
Yeah. Absolute dog.
Ziti's microphone was muted there. He said thank you back, I think. And
I did.
Hell yeah.
you all right?
Yeah, I'm good.
Maybe see.
I don't even know what's going on in the real world since the show started. It's actually been pretty nice to kind of just
Yeah.
drift
Yeah,
into
it
the
is.
baseball abyss, which is what baseball is. But man, I'm probably going to go check on what's going on in the real world.
Yeah.
No, I won't. Not till the end of the show.
Well,
It's hard not.
People don't
yeah, I
need
was
me
going to say, if you get on Twitter, you're probably going to see it.
gonna be
so-
All right, I'm
hard
off my phone. My wife's going to be pissed. You won't get off your phone for our trip to Hawaii, but you'll get off your phone whenever there's potential war in there.
Well,
Yeah.
Yeah, I will.
a little different.
I will. By the way, I seen that nuclear submarine out there and then choppers flying low.
That's dangerous.
I'm pretty pumped we got back.
Training exercise.
I'm pretty pumped we got out of there.
Why haven't we upgraded submarines yet? Like to like a whale or like an animal.
We might. You never know.
Like the whale shoots it out of its.
No, like the Foxy shot, like the Foxy shooting that whale. What if that was just a submarine?
Yeah.
That's what you're saying.
Could have
exactly.
been. It could have been.
It could have been an alien too. Everybody talks about these, unidentified aerial phenomena.
Sure.
UAPs, not
UAPs.
UFOs anymore.
Demi, thanks you.
What about just they are telling us that we can't say aliens anymore.
Yeah.
Okay, and they need to get actual confirmation from the aliens on whether or not they get upset about that before they tell me what the fuck to
Correct.
call the people that I've been interested in learning about my entire life. I understand you're new to the game, okay, but I until they tell me directly that they don't want to be called aliens, then I will go in that entire thing. But UFOs could just be that cloud that's floating by.
Oh, yeah.
Easily. I mean, they have the ability to shapeshift, right? I mean, it's something that is
Yep.
Or they
very
could
apparent.
be completely transparent and we can't see them at all.
Bingo, it could be right here.
Yeah.
Hey,
What's
look
up,
at this.
dude?
Not there.
Just rattle my hand.
Oh, yeah.
I was going to say.
Jammed you.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
Jammed
Should've
you.
done what I
Need
just did.
batting gloves on to do
Yeah,
that.
and I need
Especially
shot.
when it's a little chilly.
Is it?
You don't. No, I'm saying you don't want to get jammed when it's a little chilly.
Yeah, inside pitch, chilly day.
Well, remember my second at bat?
yeah. Thought you broke your thumb,
Third
right?
broke my thumb.
Might have
Yeah.
actually.
I hit that. Yeah, I might have still at this point broke my thumb yet because I hit that thing right here.
Little cutter on the hands.
Yeah.
Oh my god! I broke my hand. I pulled my hamstring.
Damn near beat it out, though.
Did
Almost had an infield single.
bingo.
Yeah.
Instead, I pulled my hamstring. And I knocked it on base.
Well, if you
Yeah,
were
you
You
right,
did.
Oh yeah, yeah,
You
yeah,
did.
yeah, 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 yeah. My third at bat.
Yeah.
Third at bat, I got on base.
yeah, 333.
And I slid too, by the way.
Yeah.
Had to.
Turn slide.
Spikes up, too.
Yeah, you're goddamn right. Metal cleats on the turf.
Get ready.
Not even allowed to have metal on that turf,
Nope.
I don't think. But that's whatever. This dude's
Lucky
not
I
to
didn't
blow
tell
your
you.
ACL
I
up.
mean, yeah, you're right. I mean, there could have been a lot of damage out there. I did pull a hammy. I did break a thumb, but yeah, I am lucky I didn't tear my
Those
ACL.
cleats were fresh, though. White
Fresh.
Jays.
Cocaine white, those,
Fresh matching gloves.
Yeah.
those ice creams, dude. All right, we're back for hour two with AJ Hawk in about 6 minutes. Can't thank you enough for joining us. We'll take some phone calls. We'll chit-chat about other things going on in the sports world.
Hell yeah.
Right.
Real world, there's some stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Believe that.
I do not like that every political affiliation had the same take last
Yeah,
night.
yeah.
That's
They're on the
pretty-
same
It's pretty
side.
chilling.
That scared me.
Yeah.
I don't dabble in the real world much. he dove in Bernie Sanders there. The only thing I know about him is he wanted to tax me 90% of my fucking money. So
right. And the memes.
You can go ahead and count me out on that guy. But I do understand he drove a lot of initiatives that are for the good in that entire thing. But
Kinda.
once again, I don't dabble in that world enough to know all the good that he did.
Sure.
I only know that he wanted to take 90% of my money.
Take all my money.
That's all I knew. Okay, so I don't dabble in the world enough, except for when something happens. Then I visit all the channels. It is like a natural thing that I do. I visit all of the channels when something big. Election day, I'm bouncing around all the channels, and I'm like, oh, this is a map contest.
Yeah.
Boom, that's how we learned about Kornacki.
Yep.
Kornacki.
He won.
He was the winner.
Yeah.
He was the
By
winner of the
far.
thing. Last night, it was like, all right, I guess something political is happening. Let's go check out the political world. And there's normally a difference. Last night, everybody was the same exact thing.
Yeah,
It was
same
like, oh,
way.
this freaks me out a little bit.
Yeah.
Bad news.
Yeah, nobody was really like, this is being blown out of proportion,
No,
which you would normally expect somebody would make an excuse for somebody doing something.
Right.
That always seems to happen in every single real world thing. Not last night.
Not in this case.
Same page.
All right, we'll be all right, though, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll be okay.
I fucking made contact with the ball every single time I stepped in the batter's box.
That's right.
I couldn't even fathom that that ball was a little bit bigger. You know what I mean?
Oh, I know.
Bang.
What if I'm banging missiles? You know what I mean? In
Be
just a
sweet.
couple weeks.
Uppercuts.
No. Can't have this song. I don't even know how that happened. Get out of here. Jeez Louise. We're not hyped like Aaron Rodgers.
No,
Not right now.
Not right now.
Not right now.
All right, we're back at 5. See you then. Cheers. They want to play for the Yankees one day. The people I'm playing against. They want to play for the fucking Yankees.
Check out, like, in there, we put a little surprise in there for you.
About to get iced, it feels like. I mean, let's start the day, I guess. It's great to be a member of the Washington Wild Things baseball team. We're number 1 in the league, right?
Yeah, let's
Fuck everybody. Fuck everybody else. When I take BP, will there be anybody telling me how to fucking hit? No. It feels like the wind's blowing this way. Might have to attack that fence tonight, huh? Hey, you got it! Does the DJ play heaters like this all night? I started hitting 2 days ago. Oh, you'll be fine. I think I figured it out.
You'll probably only face 90 miles an hour, right?
Is that me in the game then? This is a good at bat. This is a good at bat. Oh shit! Oh shit! Give me it!
1-1 pitch.
Let's go!
Line drive right
Son of
at
a
the
bitch! That came down a lot faster than I thought, though. Let's be honest.
field. It's deep,
Go,
and it is off the wall.
Go, go.
Field it out.
Excuse me! If you could all get off of my dick, we would be better off. Tell you what, would have been nice to take a nap earlier.
Another throw
Get back!
first.
You have to tell me when that's happening. You're making me look bad. Hey, Steven, fuck you. Hey, fuck you, Steven. Hey, nice pitch. 149. Does that feel good, Steven? Oh, wow. Wow.
He tosses him the ball.
Wow. Back to being a player now. Making plays. Touchdown. What inning is it?
Top of the second.
Jesus. But it was finally my time to get in that box.
Number 1, the right fielder, the former punter from West Virginia, a former Indianapolis Colt, and a current Barstool Sports personality, Pat McAfee.
The anticipation is real.
Oh, fuck.
Hit out to
I'm in the hole? Son of a bitch. This is about to happen.
and that will bring up Pat McAfee once again.
First pitch from Reynaldo Lopez, swing and a miss by McAfee.
Hey. What was that? And the catcher goes, I had to give you one.
Looked off speed.
What was that? Then I look at the pitcher, and he's smiling. He's like laughing, like he's toying with me like I'm a child. It all comes down to this. My last at-bat. Hey, I'm gonna get on. You bring me home. This is your life on the line, fucker.
Let me tell you something. If you're going to take an L, okay, you're going to take one.
So I think that the close your eyes and swing method is perfect for you.
Oh, this is hardball.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Jesus. You have no prayer.
Number 1, right fielder, McAfee.
Oh, boy. Oh, this is the thing. Let's go! Anybody hate you? And no, you can't say it publicly, but does
I would imagine there's a list, you know?
That'd be a shame. You didn't deserve it, by the way. You're just doing your job.
There are some people here who I've had some angst with or some tension with, but I see them at these meetings. It's sort of why I come to these meetings, and you hash it out and you kind of figure it out, and you're like, all right, I was mad at you for this, you were mad at me for this. Let's fist bump from semi-social distance and kind of move on. That happens a lot at these meetings too.
Yeah, especially while you guys are out there boozing. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Why? Hey, you want whiskey for the guy pissed off over there? Why? Give me one Bud Light for the lady I offended over there. Why? Give me one beer. Why? One tequila. Why? One vodka. Why? I need to make good with everybody in this goddamn building. Why? Is that what you do at those things, man?
I mean, yeah, it's correct.
Yeah, it's a good move. Yeah, it's a good move. You're a legend.
100%.
The Pat McAfee Show.
There'll be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we can talk about.
Speaking his mind.
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
While being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake-ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat McAfee Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Hey, welcome back to that show. Hour 2 on this. Oh my God, I did a Distraction Thursday. February 24th, 2022 shall begin right now. See, yesterday I thought I was off a little bit. First hour I was off. Here I am, second hour, all the way back. We do need a distraction because the real world has some real shit going on right now. And I think it's only growing worse from what I've been told. I tried not to look at my phone. It's impossible not to while you're going to the bathroom in between breaks. Seems like shit is popping off. We will continue to be stooges on your screen wherever you were watching from, talking about sports. At Ty Schmidt is here. At Boston Connor's here. Tone Diggs, one half of the hammer. Dahn! Cowboys is here. Appreciate you, Tone. Appreciate you, Connor. Appreciate you, Ty. Everybody in the back, I appreciate you. I didn't take a 12-day cleanse, okay?
To know.
To where I was pooping and puking at the same time.
Oh, yeah. Sure.
Yeah, doing some stuff.
Right.
In the backdoor channeling.
Yep, back channeling.
And then, going through hell basically for 12 days to cleanse an entire spirit to then inevitably become a very grateful person. Now, I'm not saying that was what happened with Aaron and what he talked about his post of gratitude. I think he has been very grateful for a lot of people for a long time if you listen to this show as opposed to what people have said about him. But I've been in a very grateful state of mind lately. Not that I'm not always, but even more. Last night, after watching everything, I want everybody to know I appreciate the hell out of all of you.
Appreciate you, Pat.
Okay, I appreciate the hell out of you.
It's a good time for that. Too,
yeah, it's a good time.
Spread love.
Yeah,
we love love.
Yes.
We do love all you guys. It's very nice, especially in times like this where everything's popping off.
Yeah, hey, let's be thankful for what we have currently going on and what we're able to do, because there is fully developed country right now that is living in what seems to be, I don't know what,
1942.
Yeah, I think back.
It's 39 over there right now. Hopefully it doesn't get to 42.
It's crazy.
There you go.
Well, see, that's a good history joke.
That's good.
Yeah.
Well, sorry, not a good joke, but a good history reference.
Yes.
Very good.
That was kind of delivered in a satirical fashion.
Yeah, it's exactly. It was satirical.
Joining us now, a man who cajoles the conversation, perpetuates microaggressions every single time he opens his mouth.
That's right.
Super Bowl champion, COVID survivor, ladies and gentlemen, AJ Hawk.
Hey!
What's up, AJ?
Hey guys, what's going on? Why do you feel this sense of gratitude lately?
Well, I think when I was in Hawaii, I was all doped up, and I was, just thinking about how stupid life was, and I'm very thankful for everybody. There's different ways to get the deeper sense of gratitude. I think I've always been very appreciative of a lot of things, but once you take a step back and kind of look into it all, you become a bit more grateful for the people and the things. And I didn't have to do a 12-day cleanse to do such a thing, but I did feel it after a 7-day vacation with my wife in Hawaii. But then last night, I start scanning through and I see a guy in a goddamn flap jacket with a helmet on, and he's standing in a country that is developed. And it's not like out in the middle of nowhere that's been happening for, thousands and thousands of years. This is like, oh shit. And then I change the channel. I'm like, oh, some other political affiliation will tell me something good, right? I mean, that's kind of how this goes. When anytime I'm going to change the channel over to this other one here, right? Hey, how's it going? Good to see you guys. Oh, they're saying it's bad too. I got to go to another channel. There's somebody else. And I think whenever you start seeing that, and it's all people from every different narrative and every different opinion, every different idea about how the world should work, whenever they're saying like, this is very fucking real right now, I think you can't help but just be like, man, this is crazy time. I'm very thankful for everything. And who knows what's going to happen next, So I think that is kind of the combination here that you're seeing in the black tank top today, AJ Hawk.
I understand completely. I watched a guy earlier today. He was doing like a stand-up interview from over there somewhere, and he put his helmet on in the middle of the interview, of talking to the people back in the studio. He's like, I'm sorry, hold on. They cut off, and he comes back fully strapped up with his helmet. And I'm like, man, I don't know if this dude is terrified. He's showing it very well on camera, like he's under control, but that has to be a scary situation.
So, for instance, Michael Cole.
Yes.
Okay? Michael Cole, the voice of SmackDown. This
was his life. He used to do this, right?
Yeah, the greatest commentator in the history of wrestling. People just need to understand it. He's been going for 25 years straight. He's only missed 2 shows. Okay?
Jesus.
And they go every single week. So I don't care what you say about who, however, somebody might be able to deliver something differently. That dude is one of the greatest workers in the history of working, like I'm talking out there, but also his energy level, his commitment to a lot of bad ideas. I mean, there has been a lot of bad, when you're putting 3 hours, 2 hours of television every single week for the last 25 years, there's going to be some bad, Michael Cole is the man. But I think the reason why he even got into the wrestling world is because at the time there was the Monday Night Wars. Okay, it's the Attitude Era. Monday Night Raw was taking on Monday Night Nitro. And I believe Vince McMahon wanted a war correspondent. It's a war, and I want a war correspondent. And so they were looking for these war correspondents. And they somehow landed and found Michael Cole, who is out of Syracuse. He had covered campaigns, presidential campaigns on the road. He was in Bosnia during a civil war, one in which to get there, which he was being held hostage for like 9 months, I guess. He couldn't get out there. They had no electricity, no exit, no nothing. He was covering this every single day. He was on the losing side, by the way. The people that were losing, he was in the middle of that entire thing. Flew in a commercial plane, where they told him he had to put on a bulletproof vest and a helmet because the plane that he's flying in is going to get shot at because the Serbs don't like the Germans or something like that. He was on a German plane or something like that. So they land in the middle of an airfield. This dude has a full bulletproof vest, helmet, and all of his shit in a backpack. He's a journalist, tiny little guy. I mean, he's a small guy.
Yeah.
He has to jump off the back of the plane, which is 10 feet high, lands on his face, stands up, has to run through a field to get over a bunker, while they're being shot at. It's confirmed, by the way, and documented.
Real story.
The real story. Jumps in there, hops in the back of a Brinks truck to get to where he's covering. While the Brinks truck, by the way, ping, 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 Brinks truck is getting shot at. He then goes into a place in which there's no electricity. To get water every day, he had to walk down with a bucket to fill out from a well that they opened for them for a certain amount of hours for everybody that was in the area, while fire is being taken in there. That's what some of these journalists are doing. Michael Cole told us all that. And I was like, holy shit. He covered David Koresh. He was the first interview with Koresh. When Koresh talked, he was in the middle of a river that was on fire, trapped, covering this thing live on TV with no real exit. He was on a wooden thing. Some of these journalists, I think they like Michael Cole, I would assume right now wishes that he was able to go over there.
Oh, yeah.
It's like a thing that's in them, I think, to get in the middle of that and to cover that. Like Cantor. Jim Cantor can't wait. It is in his body to be like, all right, there's a fucking hurricane. I'm going into the sea, But those journalists last night that I watched, just after what I heard from Michael Cole and what he went through and everything, I'm like, holy, there is some real, because when they're not on TV, what's happening? You know, think about all that other time of what they're doing, trying to figure out how to get to the hotel. Oh shit, should we be standing on this rooftop, right? In the history of war, rooftops.
Not a good place to be.
Not a good spot to be. Like it is, I have the utmost respect. You're right. You're 100% right. I have the utmost respect for everybody that's covering it over there right now.
Yeah, I mean, Diggs sent a terrifying video to me if it's real of like filming through
it's real.
window of a house, and you hear you see the plane coming in with a drop a bomb or whatever, like really, really close to this house. You hear a little kid. I'm like, geez, if that's real, that's brutal.
Hey, this shit is from documentaries and history books. You know, like they
we always think though, don't we? We always think, oh, things like this don't happen. We have social media and internet. I'm like, well, it still happens.
It's 2022. Like I think that's the biggest thing. Whenever the video that Diggs sent you, I believe he also sent to the group as soon as he saw it. Was, hey, people need to see this. I say, its tone is probably like, oh, some people need to see this.
I mean, it's wild.
And it had like 21,000 retweets, I think, on the tweet that it was. But it was like, hey, this is 2022. And this sounds so bad because I guess we've been kind of like desensationalized from it. Like war in the Middle East seems like it just happens. Like I feel like that's how we have all kind of come to understand. It's like, hey, for thousands of years, there's been stuff going on, and then we get in the middle of it, and then we're in it, and we lost life. So I think that particular war is one that we've kind of become desensationalized because it's like, that's just how it's been. Like, that's just how it goes. Now, I'm a stooge. I don't know. I don't pay attention close enough, but I feel like that is what I've observed from the reactions of other humans that are kind of down in there. This thing happening out of nowhere, it feels like we're leaping back in the history books, and it's been, hey, last night, searching for the good news, like, I'm like, oh, some political affiliation will tell me something good here. It was like none. I'm like, oh, fuck, this is a war. Plus, you think about everything else that we just came out of a 2-year lockdown.
Yeah.
And then now this, you just think to yourself, like, is this real? Like, what the fuck? It's hard not to think like that. It's honestly hard not to think like that.
Yeah, it does seem like it jumped up on us quick. I know I don't pay as much attention as a lot of people, but we heard over the last week or so that this could happen and all this stuff, and then now that it's happening, like, okay, now what happens? What do we do?
And this is an embarrassment because I am an adult and a businessman, but I did not heard that. I did not know that what was going to happen. I did not know that what I was seeing last night because the Troy Aikman news happened on Twitter. I'm like,
kind of got overshadowed, huh?
No, well, I quote tweet. I'm like, this is large news. Yeah. You know, I put it out there, and then boom, everybody's like, is it, dude? Just wait. You fucking idiot. I'm like, oh my God, again, what did I do? What did I do? You know, and then my wife is like, hey, there's like a war about to happen or whatever. So, like, I felt like an idiot. I feel like a lot of people, just like you said, 2022, I thought there was no way like this type of stuff would happen. Now it's happening. I don't know. Who knows what's next, too? Nobody's giving us good news.
Well, I just hope Hasbulla is okay.
Yeah. He will be okay.
Your tweet said otherwise, dude.
What?
I mean, if I happen to see him face to face on the field of battle, I will drop that motherfucker. But
shut your mouth.
I hope he's okay.
Mute your own mic.
On the good team.
Mute your own mic.
Bulla's on.
What are you
like
doing?
when Shawn Michaels had, he didn't want to deliver that super kick.
Son of a bitch.
Sorry. I love you. Imagine Gumpy and Bulla running into each other.
Well,
listen, we should not be making jokes about this. We do not think this is funny, but this situation that could happen, I guess, is what I'm being told by the smart people.
Take me before you take Bulla.
Bro, imagine Gumpy rolling in.
Yeah. Get me my fucking work boots.
Okay? He's rolls in. He stands up, and it's Bulla on the other side.
I know.
No.
And Bulla dropped both of his weapons. Bulla's just standing there. I'm so sorry.
Take off my helmet. I put it down. Put me down, Bulla.
Bro, Gumpy.
Put me down.
Gumpy lifts. Gumpy lifts.
Oh, no.
Gumpy lifts up.
Oh, no.
I am so sorry, Bulla.
No! Love you, Bulla.
Dad. That'd be such a shame. Let's hope it doesn't come to that.
Yeah, let's hope so.
Let's hope it doesn't come to Gumpy and Bulla.
Please, no.
I think we're all on the same team, aren't we?
We are.
Everybody's on the same team.
Bulla's team, right?
Wow. We will definitely consider which team Bulla's on
We'll
for
see.
our.
That's TBD. But CNN actually gave us some good news. They're still, I think, what was it, 2 for $20 apps at Applebee's?
Yeah, that's right.
Isn't that,
Yeah.
So, I mean, they're still kind of letting
I was
us
going to say,
know.
it's not all dour.
Yeah, not
Poor
all.
Zach. Poor
Can't they
Zach.
fix that?
Poor Zach Brown can't be happy.
Still get boneless wings and a 32-ounce Bud Light.
Listen,
Yeah.
I do not want to make any light of any of this. Okay, it's very serious. But whenever they are panning a city that is getting bombed,
Air sirens.
and there's air sirens on
Those
both
air
sides,
raids those sirens are terrifying.
it's scary, very loud as they're panning, and then all of a sudden you go right to, you know, I like my chicken fried. Cold beer on a Friday night, half off apps at Applebee's. I mean, that was an interesting.
Yeah.
That was an interesting gig.
2022. Can't we figure some kind of algorithm where, hey, if we're showing some really terrible stuff, we can't go right to a commercial like that?
The way I've seen some ad people try to set up deals, like a lot of doofuses that don't think about the actual product. They just think about getting the deal done. Probably at their height of numbers is when certain things probably get plugged in, right? With like certain, you know what I mean? So like, I would assume they were at very high ratings at that point. So their deal is probably like, hey, we need to get this done, boom. And it's just, you know, no situational.
Fire the Applebee's.
Yeah. Roll Applebee's commercial
What's
now.
the number? What's the number? We're at how many million people are watching? Well, we're showing an incredibly scary situation, so a lot of people are tuning in because they think maybe everybody's going to die within the next 5 minutes. All right, well, that's a lot of people, right? A lot of people are watching? Yeah. We owe Applebee's fucking half off their combos with Zach Brown. All right.
Cue to Zach Brown.
Gotta scan that thing. As soon as this thing gets all the way to the Capitol, we chicken fried.
And there was, I mean, there was no break. You just hear the ding, 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 ding.
Yeah, we need like a 3 seconds of like some kind of transition out of it.
Right. There was none of that.
Yeah.
I thought the banners.
Hey, everybody's trying to get it right, man. They're not
That's
used
a real thing though, Pat. Like people like NFL, whatever leagues that sell these commercials, if they don't get to all the commercials, they have to like make up commercials for these companies. So what if they're like, hey, you think they're telling Applebee's, hey, I know we owed you a few. We got you a big one.
We got you a big one, remember? Yeah. And everybody's going to want to eat your apps, too, after that. Being associated with the air raid siren is certainly what you guys were looking for, right?
Well, that's
I didn't see any clauses in there. All I saw was just numbers. Like, well, you need to get you this amount of numbers, but we can't be making like it is very serious. Everybody's trying their best. Nobody's used to this. Well, maybe they're not, though. I don't know. Maybe there's probably not good interest in a lot of decisions that are being made right
Definitely not interested in it, but Zach Brown, too, can't be too happy. Like, forever now. When I hear that
song's
song,
a banger, though. I mean,
but when I hear Chicken Fried, that is what I'm going to think of.
A lot worse songs could have been played.
Correct.
Sure.
Yeah.
Drift Away.
What if it was...
Could have been that stupid Applebee's, talking late night.
Outcast.
Stranglehold, Ted Nugent.
Outcast. Come on, you know what
Outcast
song.
makes bangers.
Yeah,
what
but
you
I know they have great songs. I'm saying there's the ones that you wouldn't want on there probably.
He's thinking.
Okay, yeah. You're being a terrible, toxic person.
Terrible.
No, I'm saying I thought that's what you meant, like songs with lyrics that would really not go well with that.
Bob.
Oh, okay. You're saying it could have been compounded by what it was playing. Okay, gotcha. Anyways, hope everybody's okay.
Yes.
Don't mean to make light of it, but I mean, there's been some situations that if we don't mock, what are we doing?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Peace and peace.
Aaron Rodgers will be informing the Packers of his decision soon. That's per Diana Rossini. We love Diana Rossini. Absolutely love.
Love her.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Diana Rossini got us through a large portion of the No Sports Time with her inside information. With that being said, I think this is what he kind of said to us the other day. I mean, this is kind of
verbatim.
This is big news because other people are thinking this now, I guess. But I think he kind of said this the other day. Diana Rossini, who is plugged in her news, is very real. We have to remember that. Whenever you get here's another thing. Whenever you get your information from whoever you get your information from, you have to think, why is that information being presented? Who did this person get this information from? Right? There's always some sort of, and we've talked about this for a long time. Diana Rossini has a resume in which she hits. Like she when she says something, so she's saying league sources are saying Aaron's going to make this decision quickly. He kind of told us that the other day because he had just entered the chapter of the decision making for his future post the PK cleanse, obviously, where it's coming out of basement and the attic. Now it's time to think about what I'm going to do next year. Although I've already had some thoughts. What is your expectation and feeling on this? And per league sources, what do you think that means from Diana?
Well, when she says soon, like what does soon mean? Like in the next 2 weeks?
Has to be.
I mean, everything's relative, dude.
The first day of the league year is what, March 16th, 17th, whatever. You can be tagged for another, 5 days now?
Well, and also, like, soon could be a month if you're talking in a 2 year, like in a 3 year. You know,
Before the draft, he's going to make a decision probably.
no, but he told us it's going to be quick.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I would imagine because of all of the other things that have to take place, you know, based on what he does, like other players, of course it's going to be soon. It has to be.
Yeah, and he's actually admitted that. Like some decisions are being made by a lot of people on my thing, so I have to kind of make this quicker. But how are teams, you know, like per league
Putting offers out there?
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. Like, how's that?
Are you
work?
allowed to? Is that tampering? How does that work?
Yeah, I know. Because can you say that you're interested in him before the league year ends?
Did Wombo say something about that yesterday about tampering?
He said everybody does it.
Yeah, it's like free agency. Like, remember the Patriots before it actually started already had all these guys signed.
Yeah,
Like,
but there's a tampering period
Which
for
are
that.
allowed.
I'm saying there's a tampering period.
Is this considered tampering? I guess.
Well,
It's not. If you're trying to trade, if you want to trade for somebody, you can make a call at any time of the year, can't you? But hey,
I don't know. Can you? I'm not 100% sure. Can I call if I'm a player and I want to? Can I just call another team to at any given point, and then if they talk back to me, is that okay?
It's a good question. I don't know. That's something we'd have to ask Big Raj when he comes on the show.
Goodell?
Yep.
He's not coming on the show.
He might.
I thought he meant
I don't know.
the Big Rock. That's
He
what I
seems
thought
pretty
was
hip
talking
now.
about.
Well, maybe the
coming
Rock
on
with
the
Pat.
Dwayne's coming. I saw Dwayne tweet at you.
Oh,
Hell
yeah.
Let's go, Dewey.
Hey, love my guy Pat Mac, dude. Shout out, man.
Hell yeah.
Can't wait. When probably so what it sounds like right before the XFL kicks off, he wants to come make a nice push.
Whenever. Hey, listen. Whenever you want to come on, Dwayne, we would love. We'd be honored.
Love you, DJ.
Have a little terramana, talk some shit. Maybe some French toast. Oh, some moose juice. Oh, energy drink. Oh, yeah, we'll do it all. I can't wait. I can't wait for this.
How
This is
big do you
awesome.
think that shirt is if he held it up next to a normal sized human?
And then his waist. His waist is he is literally shaped like I don't know how they had. I don't know how he's only getting better with age somehow.
Yeah.
I mean he is
Sculpted out of stone.
I think it's
Fine
52,
wine.
right? Brock said
49, right?
that. Was it 49?
Oh, his waist?
Oh, no, he's talking about his chest.
Oh, I'm talking about the shirt. Yeah, the shirt. Yeah.
Oh yeah, his is 52. That was years ago though. Who knows what it is now, right?
You think his t-shirts are like custom tailored or just gets XL
absolutely.
off the rack?
Everything's custom for Dwayne.
Grabs a curtain.
Well, he probably does grab double XL off the rack if he was to do that, but he has a designer. He gives her credit in a lot of his posts. He's fashion. Super fashion.
Oh, yeah.
And when you're built like that, though, The Rock, I don't think there's anything he could buy off the rack, probably, especially in pants. There's no chance.
These tanks. There's 5XL for these tank tops. That'll fit him.
Bird dogs should probably help him out.
The legs?
Yeah.
Stretchy material.
We know if that was the real dinosaur in his house?
No, he
it
said
wasn't.
I think that's where he learned about us, by the way, because we did an entire thing on it, and then
Doesn't Leo DiCaprio have like a legit dinosaur head or something?
Leo cares about the planet.
He does.
I don't know if he would have an actual dinosaur in his. I don't know if he would want a carbon footprint in his house.
absolutely not.
You know what I mean? He's worried about.
He does own
literal-
something like that, I'm telling you.
Okay, well, maybe I'm
Sure
not
he
100%
does.
sure. By the way, I'm
Nick Cage was the big dino bone collector.
Yeah, he owns.
Then he went broke.
He's the
right?
man. We need to get him on the show.
Nick
Oh,
Cage
too
is
many
dope.
dino bones.
Listen, I have Nick Cage on. Who is he?
Nick Cage, oh, you'd love Nick Cage.
Face
Oh, you
off.
know.
Con Air.
Gone.
Con Air.
Yes.
Gone in 60 seconds.
Dad and I
The
watched.
Rock.
Dad and I watching Con Air in
Con Air's awesome.
the worst movie theater that has ever existed. We're at a soccer tournament. My dad wanted to go see it. This thing was in a barn, and I'll never forget it because of that. Con Air. When that wind was on his
Oh, yeah.
face, I'll never forget it.
The Rock is another great movie. He had a nice little run.
He had a great run.
Wicker Man.
Hey, Lister, dude.
He was definitely-
Won an Oscar. You kidding me?
He was real like frugal with all of his money too, I heard.
Well, that's.
Till it
I
dies.
mentioned that a little bit ago. So
Let's not forget Bangkok Dangerous, probably his finest work.
what is that?
What was
called?
IMDb?
Gumpy only owns one DVD.
Yes.
It's Bangkok Dangerous. He watches it once a week.
What is it?
It's a Nick
unbelievable.
Cage action vehicle.
If you get a
Him in
chance.
Bangkok.
That's awesome.
He's
He
very
goes over,
dangerous.
gets paid big money to do like random movies in like for the Sultan of Brunei and like all these weird situations.
What is that? You know a lot about Nick Cage. It sounds like. Let's dive
I mean,
into this.
I don't know if he worked specifically for that person, but I know I've seen pictures of him dressed in like local gear shooting movies for people.
Who's the person you just said there, though?
The Sultan of Brunei. I don't know, Ty. You know who that is?
No.
You gotta
I
be
don't
pretty
know.
sweet.
I hear
to
him
be a
thrown around
Sultan.
as one of those rich guys.
Oh, you hear him? Can't wait.
Here's his list.
One of Uncle Wexy's pals.
I can't wait to learn about this guy. What is his name again?
I did too. I just
Saul
know the name.
Brunei.
I don't
he's
know
a
anything
Sultan.
about him. I just heard
Sultan's
the
like
name.
a king or a prince or something
You know,
like that. Brunei
like,
is a.
His name's not Saul.
No, his name is
like Better Call Saul.
Salt Brunei.
Saul.
looks like his
Salt
name
Brunei.
is Hassanal.
Hassanal?
Or is it Hassanal?
Dude, I don't know.
Listen.
Why you got to
Who
do
is he?
that?
Really,
What is he?
I didn't mean to throw a wrench in the show.
Brunei.
Well, I just want to know what your toxic shit is right now.
It's not toxic. I'm saying he would go and do these. Like I think the only people calling him for movies were these
Salt and
offshore
Brunei.
things that are paying a bunch of money to go be in a movie that we're never going to see.
And you just thought of this guy immediately? Is there any reason?
Yeah, I mean, he popped into my head. I don't know anything of what he's done. I've just heard of.
What did he do, huh?
Sultan is a king of a Muslim state.
Okay, so Sultan Brunei was hiring Nicolas Cage.
I'm not saying he did. I'm saying what different countries over there I've seen. Look at his IMDb. I'm sure it pops up.
I'm sure you're not talking about Steven Seagal.
He does the same thing too.
Well,
he's an unstoppable. Whoa,
Sometimes you
I was going to say he might be freaking first commander of a tank division right now, Steve Seagal.
Yeah, he's already over
There's
there.
a chance.
Yeah.
He's probably in that motorcade that just said nah.
Could be.
We will not kill.
Lovey Smith says Davis Mills is the quarterback going into the season.
yeah, he is.
I mean, that makes us feel good. Friend of the show, old Dougie
Yeah.
Davis Mills.
Hell yeah.
Guy's a hell of a player. The Deshaun Watson deposition has moved a month back. Lovey Smith said it doesn't matter what happens in that. We saved $35 million, I think, if we trade him, which we will do when the off-field stuff inevitably gets whatever happens there. He's either not on our team or he's traded, whatever the case. And Davis Mills, our quarterback, is guy to Stanford. Everybody said he was a great player. He was their first draft pick with their first draft pick that they had in the entire draft. He was their guy, and he won some games there last year when we did not expect
Did you see the crazy graphic where him and Tua had the exact same stats last year in like 7 categories?
AJ, how do you feel about old Davis Mills? Big brain, athlete, seemed like he won some games when the whole fire was around him. He and Tua have the exact same stats. What are your thoughts on old Dougie Mills?
Well, he's like the different body type than Tua, obviously. Big, tall, long dude that with a big arm. I don't know. I mean, honestly, who knows who can all of a sudden become a star at the quarterback position? We don't know. We talked to Kurt Warner at the Super Bowl. What are the odds of him actually making it and doing what he did and going to the Hall of Fame?
By the way, Nick loves that movie.
Oh, it's incredible. I saw it
really?
too. We actually watched it the same night on vacation.
Phenomenal film.
Unbelievable.
What's the best part?
The whole thing. Story.
I can't.
Actually, seeing Zachary Levi sling the pigskin around, it doesn't look fake. I thought it was going to stink. I thought it was going to
I don't know what to believe right now.
I'm dead serious.
I can't believe it.
Nick actually told me, Nick said, the way they put that movie together, can't say anything bad about it. I was like, what does that even mean? What does that even mean?
Kurt's an incredible guy. They did an amazing job capturing his story and all the trials and tribulations of his life. They cut together actual NFL game footage with Zachary Levi slinging the rock.
Like Kevin
you can't
James.
tell the difference.
Like Kevin James on the Saints sideline?
Yes.
I didn't see that shitty thing, but I did see Kurt Warner, American Underdog, phenomenal.
Yeah, unbelievable film. It really is.
I
no
don't
bullshit.
know about
I can't
No
tell.
bullshit.
I really can't tell.
I'm going to watch it myself because
You
Kurt
need
is
to.
a good guy.
You need to.
But these two, listen, I never thought it was going to be bad. I never thought it was going to be bad. Ever. Had a chance to be corny. I actually told Kurt Warner, like, hey, I haven't seen the movie yet, but everybody has told me it's incredible when there is a lot of dancing with corny whenever you do this type of thing. And he even addressed that. He was like, yeah, I understood that was the case or whatever. And then these two come off of vacation. They're like, great movie. Unbelievable movie. I'm like, you guys, I don't know what's going on.
I don't believe Ty because Ty is like a movie critic. You know how Ty will talk
So
about
is Nick.
the plot and developing characters, and I asked him what his best part. He said, "Oh, the whole thing."
Exactly.
I think
So
they
you should
felt
know.
bad though because they buried it so bad before they saw it.
That's what I'm saying. Ty and Nick are just super judgy when it comes to this type of stuff.
Did not bury it before we saw it. Always intrigued by it. Felt
That
even
is not
stronger
true
about it.
at
That's a
all.
lie.
That is
He's
not
on
true at
record.
all.
He's on record.
Put it above any given Sunday. Both of them.
Yeah, right.
I know. That's what I said.
That's incredibly overrated. But that's neither here nor there. I mean,
How about Remember the Titans? Is it better?
Hey,
than
but
it's
Remember-
not better than
Blues
Remember
are.
the Titans. I won't go there. But I tell you what, I did. I thought it was going to absolutely fucking
What about
stink
the program?
beforehand. Program's an all-timer.
Okay, good. You
said
can't
it
say
was-
it's better than the program.
He said he was better than Mark Invincible.
Definitely better than Invincible.
Vince Papali?
Definitely better than Invincible.
No way.
Absolutely. Hands down.
Vince Papali's boy just got drafted to the USFL, by the way. Vinny Papali.
His son?
His son?
Swear to God, yeah.
To the what?
USFL.
To the USFL.
Oh, yeah. Hey, that's happening.
Here we go.
Let's go
Vinny.
Ballers.
Is that the Pittsburgh squad?
Let's go Panthers.
Wrong colors, but fuck it.
Let's go Maulers.
Drives me insane.
Is it? Why wouldn't they? Well,
purple and orange. What the fuck are we doing?
I mean, they asked me to be a kicker in that league, so.
Oh, that's right. Was it for the Maulers?
Huh?
Was it the Maulers?
I would have to get drafted, I think. I don't think I just.
Yeah, but you were playing quarterback, right?
No, kick. They were asking me to kick in that league.
You know who was second overall pick? Jordan Ta'amu.
Was he really? Yeah. That guy got fucked. Mm-hmm. Jordan Ta'amu has. This is what you were saying about nobody knows who's going to be a great quarterback or not. Like with Davis Mills, we have no idea, and we would assume that the Houston situation was a bigger fire and shit show than Miami Dolphins. But after what we're hearing about the Miami Dolphins, Tua has had what? Next to no shot, I guess, in this entire thing. There's a entire situation going on there. Who was I just about to hit on?
Jordan Ta'amu.
Jordan Ta'amu, yes. Okay, so I was trying to remember his story. He's from Hawaii. He gets, I forget which island he is from. But anyways, he plays in Hawaii. He goes to some military academy in like New Mexico or something like that. And that's the only school that recruited him or scouted him. He played there. Then he goes to another school, and then something else happens, and he finally gets an opportunity to play like big time football, and it's at with Ole Miss, and he's a starter, and then all of a sudden he has no more eligibility because the military program that he went to in New Mexico, the NCAA wouldn't allow that to not be a year or a redshirt year or something like that because he didn't declare for a redshirt. So now he's forced out of college whenever he's just kind of getting his opportunity. He's young. I think he was 22 at the time. Then he ends up in the XFL. Balls. XFL ends because of COVID. Now the whole story though is PJ was the absolute guy in that league and everything like that. I hope he gets another shot. He's still going to be very young at this point. Yeah. And I think he has legitimately got screwed through this entire
His backup was Taylor Heineke.
Yes.
Starting for the Washington football team.
Just got to deal with that to go into the season. Commanders.
Excuse me.
Ta'amu's only 24, and he is going to light it up because Todd Haley is his head coach. So.
Oh. Well, let's hope Todd Haley likes him.
Todd is awesome.
If Todd Haley doesn't like him, though, I mean, Todd Haley will.
Well, he drafted him. You got to like him, right?
Well, you can only draft. He's a hell of a player.
Great player.
So let's go back to Davis Mills.
Okay.
Does it matter? What are we going to do all offseason?
Hey, going back to honestly, what did you think of the Troy Aikman news?
Like, I'm pumped for Davis.
Yeah, obviously.
Very.
Pumped for Davis. Let's go, dude. Let's go. But they don't have an idea what's going on. There's somebody told us, I got a tweet yesterday. It said, you would think from Wall Street Show there's only 5 teams in the NFL. Seems like there is, by the way. I hate to break it.
Well, there's only 5 making news
But
right
we will
now.
talk about everybody if any news happens. We just talked about the Houston Texans yet again.
Yeah.
Davis Mills, Lovie Smith, how you doing? Let's keep it moving. But none of this matters. None of this matters. If he goes on to kill it, awesome. Could happen. He goes on to stink, could happen.
Yep.
We got to do that. But let's talk about Troy Aikman.
So what he is going to, his Fox deal is up, so it's not official, but the rumors are he's going to Monday Night Football for $17.5 million a year.
From what I've been told, it is official.
Yeah, Andrew Marchand.
Okay.
It is, from what I've been told, it is. We met Andrew Marchand, by the way, and by we, I mean me, at Super Bowl Radio Row. Marchand, when I entered the sports media world, did not write glowingly about me. And I did not know about who this person was. He did not write glowingly. His first couple, or I think things he said about me, it was like, oh, okay, well, fuck this guy forever. And I don't forget that type of stuff. I remember that type of stuff. And then I guess since then he's become a fan of the show and and he's written a lot of good stuff. I don't see those. I don't see the good stuff. So it is kind of like selected. When I met him at Radio Row, he was a very nice guy, very super cool. He came over to introduce himself, and we had a little bit of an interaction about, oh yeah, you wrote that. He said, yeah, but I said a lot of good stuff too. I'm like, I missed that. I'm so sorry. But he's good. He is the guy that knows all this shit though. Like, I feel like he is very plugged in with all the media stuff. I don't know whether it's exactly through the networks, through the agents, whatever the case. He has found a great niche in sports media of covering sports media. And it was very nice of him to come over and say hello. And I appreciate that. But when he reports that something's a done deal, it's a done deal. $17.5 million to ESPN for a 5-year deal or whatever the case is. This is fascinating to me because Amazon had Al Michaels and Troy Aikman in everybody's mind. Amazon never came out and said this, but everybody else that I was talking to is basically like, this is what Amazon's thinking about doing, this is what we're planning on doing. And everybody was just assuming that was going to be a lock. Then the New York Post came out and said, ESPN might pluck Al Michaels from Amazon before a deal gets done. It's like, oh shit. Troy Aikman comes out and says, the number of people that will be watching games does, it is something that I think about whenever I'm picking and choosing what I would do. So everybody thought that was potentially him saying Thursday Night Football on Prime, Thursday night games aren't as good. Maybe the numbers won't be as high. Maybe he's not going to Amazon. What the hell is going on? Then out of nowhere, when we're not even thinking about ESPN, like Ty brought up earlier, Troy signs the biggest deal in the history of commentating for $17.5 million per. It's like, what is Amazon going to do? What is Fox going to do? And I guess good on ESPN for making this happen. But that contract, everybody else that works for them saw. Okay, so the price just went up, I think, for everybody in everybody's minds. Who knows how ESPN will kind of do that? But I think that is a huge ripple effect. Like, that's a big domino to fall. And I'm a fan of Troy Aikman, so I'm happy as hell for him that he's getting 17.5 a year and he's back on Monday nights, and we're happy Monday nights will have him. But there's a ripple effect, I think, that's going to happen from all this, AJ.
Well, Amazon has to. It couldn't have been a money thing because I'm sure Amazon could pay him. I'm sure they were willing to pay him more than what anybody else would pay him. But maybe, I don't know. That's interesting to see if now Al Michaels has a ton of leverage. Like Joe Buck could possibly go over with him. He has to get out of his last year of his contract with Fox, I read. But yeah, I think it's a good move by ESPN. Why not throw Troy in there? We don't know who the play-by-play person will be yet, though.
No, we have no idea. And there's a thought that, maybe because Al, right?
Booger,
easily.
Booger, by the way, he was on TV last week whenever we were on vacation. I was watching him. He did not look like exactly thrilled to be on a couple of shows that I saw, but he did not fucking miss. I listened to him give a couple of takes, and it was just bum, 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 bum. He's a great take giver. Like, I believe Booger being thrusted into the booth, I don't think it was the right move. Like, I don't think that is what he's a great take giver, though. You might not agree with his takes, but he is I don't think he's going to be the play-by-play person. No, to your question, AJ. I don't think Booger McFarland's getting hired for the play-by-play.
Booger was always good on those shows, it feels like. And then he did like the Booger Mobile where everybody that was standing behind him basically hated him because they couldn't see the goddamn game. And then he went to the booth and it didn't work. But like he was with Tessitore. You think they might bring Tessitore back and then have him do it?
I don't think so.
I don't think
Why? Joey?
Love Joe Tessitore. Love Joe Tessitore.
Too many boxing matches to call.
Well, that in college. He's great in college.
Yeah.
The atmosphere.
He's had a couple opportunities now, too, and it's just like, okay. I mean, he's fine at it, but he's not the guy for Monday Night Football.
Holy moly, too.
Yeah, exactly.
Crushes
Right.
Holy moly. I'm a big Joe Tessitore fan. Hey,
Friend of
how's
the
the
program.
family? How's the family? How's the family?
Yeah, he was out at your the golf thing at the Super Bowl in Atlanta. Joe was there. I got to talk to him a little bit.
Yeah, Joe was there. He's a good guy. Always, anytime we talk to him, he's a good guy. We love him, but I don't believe the NFL is necessarily his strong suit. Like, I don't think so. It might be. Maybe we didn't see the best Joe Tessitore. I'm not 100% sure, but those moves that are going to be made. Fox has 2 of the next 3 Super Bowls, I think I saw on a tweet.
Yeah.
And they don't have anybody right now, right?
Who's going to take the number 1 spot then that Troy just left?
So allegedly Sean Payton, Greg Olson, and Drew Brees may be getting traded from the NBC. Like everybody's just kind of throwing shit at the wall right now because I don't think anybody has a clue.
Shit, Nance may pay $17 million to get
Or
away from Romo.
Orlovsky, that opens up for Dahn too. For Fox as an option for him too.
True.
I mean, Diggs tried to slip in there that Nance is probably trying to get out of his deal at CBS.
I missed it. Dang it. Sorry, Diggs.
No, it's all right.
What about Gus Johnson?
I would love
He's
Gus.
awesome.
I would love Gus in the NFL.
Yes.
I would love him in the NFL.
He does a couple.
With Akib, I think he did a couple. They were awesome.
He's great.
Yeah. Gus is amazing. Gus changes games. Gus, people tune in for Gus.
Yeah.
Hey, it's a Gus Johnson game. I don't give a fuck about these 2 teams. Okay,
Yeah.
but
They
I'm
did so many Lions games, and I felt bad for them every time because they're so good.
Yeah, and that's how long is his deal. But if people are talking about doing, and there was a conversation, and the only reason why I know this is because when I was with ESPN for the certain amount of dates. Okay, so I was there for a certain amount of dates. That's all, and then they pay per date. I got paid terribly, but it was per date. I got to do this, and I did a studio show. I did a game, and then I also did game day for like 6 weeks or whatever, 7 weeks. 5, 6, or whatever it was. So I got a chance to really work in all their different silos, right? Like it's like you work in this silo, which is the studio show silo. Okay, you work in this silo, which is the game broadcast silo. Then in game day, it's like its own thing. And ESPN has all these silos. You're working in there for all those things. And for whatever reason, it felt like at the middle management level, the decision making for each of these silos, I wasn't really resonating with any of them, right? Like ratings were going up at all of them, but I was not being well received, I guess. So there was a conversation on whether or not I would think about maybe if it was broached properly to trade my dates to Fox. Almost like that was like a conversation that was like, we could potentially think about doing this. It was like agent speak. And I think they were only doing that to make it seem as if they were doing something or thinking about how like, hey, this is not going how I thought this was going to go. And I'm not going to continue to work for peanuts for this type of stuff. So like, I think that was maybe, and I asked about that. I was like, did that ever happen before? It has happened before. Like people have been traded before. I think Marty was traded at one point.
Really?
I think that with NASCAR, he was traded when NASCAR's deal, I think it was talked about, he was potentially almost, like there has been media people that have been traded in the past. This would not be new, but I don't think it has happened anytime in the recent history.
Yeah, I mean, Fox is sitting there trying to figure out what they're going to do. Joe Buck has 1 year left. It would be weird if someone stepped into Joe's role with Joe for 1 year while Joe finished out his contract with Fox too. Whoever would come in to be the new color commentator.
Yeah, but then if Joe only has 1 year left, you're dealing with change in this year and next year.
Right. Yeah. That's why they could let him out of his deal a year early so they could deal with it all now.
Yeah, it would only be one sudden drastic change. Two Super Bowls, though, is a big deal.
Huge.
Yeah, do you think they could, like, for a lot of these networks, probably not NBC with just Collinsworth, but do you think Fox could exist with Buck and then, like, a rotating cast? And then same with ESPN, exist with Aikman and then a rotating cast? And then depending on Al Michaels, if, he goes to Amazon, could it be Al Michaels in a rotating cast?
Could be that for Amazon, right? Because they
Amazon, not Monday Night Football.
Yeah, the chemistry thing is
Those
a big deal.
guys don't want to do that, yeah.
I think chemistry is a big deal. I honestly believe that. Now, granted, if you're one star driven and you get like different, because you get different versions of Troy.
Yeah.
Like, and maybe Amazon will try it because it'll be like, hey, we'll find who we think it's going to be or whatever. I don't know who you will get that will want to travel around though with zero incentive unless they're just getting paid by the day. I don't know. There is a way to do that though, I think, right?
Well, yeah, but I think so. But being Troy, like, wouldn't that be kind of tough to pick your spots with a different person every week? Yeah.
Apparently.
Go ahead.
Yeah, Foxy just sent it in, and I was looking it up too. Apparently, ESPN traded Al Michaels for a Cartoon Rabbit.
Yeah.
Go on.
Mm-hmm.
Which cartoon?
He talked about
Bugs?
this.
No,
for people
it was
asking
Oswald.
about how a trade could possibly happen, Al Michaels was once traded from ESPN to NBC. Really, it has happened before. An excerpt from former ESPN president George Bodenheim. In ESPN's Fight for Production issue, former ESPN president George Bodenheim writes about the weirdest trade.
Oswald the Lucky Rabbit.
Oswald the Lucky
They had to
Rabbit.
get the rights away from NBC.
Mm-hmm. So in the entire, there was probably a purchase, an acquisition of something, and they weren't able to get the rabbit, the bunny, and they say, hey, we'll give you this amount of money and we'll also give you fucking Al Michaels. That's awesome.
It needed Oswald.
Yeah.
Hey, George Bodenheim didn't want to pull the trigger, but fucking need the bunny, so got to get rid of Al Michaels.
What are you going to do?
Greatest sportscaster in history. Get him out of here. We need the bunny. I mean, it's part of a bigger decision. You wouldn't understand. You wouldn't have to sit in my chair ever. All you needed that fucking Oswald the bunny, dude.
We'll down for both sides.
It seems like you're right. Allegedly, Walt Disney created Oswald.
Oh, yeah,
but he worked for somebody else at the time. This is before he created his own empire. Lost the rights to Oswald.
Need to get him back.
Disney wanted it back.
Al
Bring
Michaels-
Oswald home.
Yeah, well, Bodenheim was working for somebody there.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, you remember what Dad wanted?
Can you imagine?
That fucking bunny.
Get him back.
Get Oswald back.
Get that goddamn bunny back. AJ, maybe we'll hire you.
Maybe Al Michaels has a ton of leverage right now.
Yes.
Not just Al. Everybody that is actually good at that has a lot of leverage right now because there's been, numerous years of people that have been getting those big time roles. And a lot of these networks are tired of being embarrassed, especially with Super Bowls on the line. Like, can we get into the Super Bowl rotation more? We got to make a play for that, because the Super Bowl, you win the entire, you get the Super Bowl, you win. They're charging what? $7 million
for
30 second ad spots. I mean, that is, you win the Super Bowl. That's good. But the NFL takes into consideration who's going to be commentating, who's going to be presenting the game. Like, that's a real thing, I guess, that happens. I don't know if there's money talks in this whole thing. So, I mean, if you're in a good, like Al Michaels is in a great spot. I would even argue Jim Nance also in a great spot, even though I think he just redid a deal recently.
Yeah. But Al's deal is up. That's why he's in such a good spot.
Collinsworth?
Archuleta.
Okay, yeah.
All right.
Well, and you know it.
Archuleta is an interesting commentator.
Yeah.
He's a very interesting commentator, isn't he? He's doing a podcast on the game.
Oh, really?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, like he's running a podcast on the game.
Yeah,
and I appreciate it. We do a podcast. Sure. I mean, that is what we do.
Kinda.
I mean, we were a live show.
No, yeah, not really.
Yeah, we don't really do podcasts. It's cut up into a podcast.
There is a podcast.
Yeah. There is a podcast element to what we do.
Yeah.
But he does like a podcast style of commentating.
What do you mean by that?
Stories, jokes.
Free-flowing conversation.
This, the
Is
game.
that what you want?
Kind of, yeah, I guess.
As long as it's Jay Feely.
A lot of jokes.
I think he was good. I think he was very good. It's a different style. I enjoyed him, but not everybody did. Okay, that's
I haven't seen him much. I was a big fan of him as a player, but I haven't seen him much on the CBS game. He's CBS, correct?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Rips it up. But to your point, we know Troy was pissed about not having that Cowboys game during the playoffs, and so that's probably something he pointed
Chuck
to.
Davis.
Like,
Hey,
Romo
Troy,
got it.
Chuck Davis, let's get him on here more. I
Chucky.
hate to break this to anybody, but Monday Night Football's games are bad, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or at least they have been.
They have been. There have been a few good ones though.
Beginning of the season, they're
Let's get to a break.
'Cause I can't
We'll be back on the other side answering some phone calls on the 5 Energy phone line. It's a big deal, though. What is Amazon going to do, though? Like, that's the question.
They don't have much time, do they?
No, they don't.
That's what I was trying to tell them while I was speaking to them. Like, hey, the season's coming up, like, pretty quick.
They should be in stone.
Oh.
You should.
Yeah, they have some good options out there. Okay. Yeah, I don't want to throw anyone's name in the hat, but I know different guys that have worked different deals and studio deals in with other things that they have done
True.
that they could use. But I'll keep that to myself until they make it higher.
Talking about Brady Quinn?
No, definitely not.
Third day in a row, actually, he's referenced this. But
Who is it?
Nobody. No, I mean, I have multiple people actually that I've talked to.
Yeah. This guy.
You're an idiot.
Yeah.
Okay, we're back in 4 minutes. We'll answer some phone calls on the 5 Energy phone line. I just got smartened up on what you're referring to. Hilarious. 1-833-4 McAfee. We'll talk to you on the 5 Energy phone line in 4 minutes. See you.
We're appreciative of celebrity fans that come out. But there are just simply some that are like, oh, we're from here. This is what we do. We root for this team. That's not the case here. And that's why I wanted you on here.
Nobody wants to play the Blues in the playoffs. We're a heavy team. We're mean and we're relentless. And that they don't play hockey like that anymore. Especially the high flying teams. And all of a sudden the playoffs happen and you guys see it. The heavy teams, all of a sudden, nobody wants to play them. Nobody likes playing the Sharks a couple years ago. Nobody liked playing, the Blackhawks back in the old days. And it's just, it's a different beast, and we're built for it.
You know what? Hammer, I love the way you do this. You talk. He knows his shit, guys. I told you this. Like,
And then like the 80s happened, and Hully happened, and Shanahan happened, and Scott. We had so many great players come through our organization that. And lost them in the weirdest, most Byzantine, awful ways of stupid trades and bad arbitration, and then we lose Shanahan, we get Pronger, and everybody hates Pronger, and then Pronger becomes an all-star, and then we of course we don't win with him, but he wins that Anaheim or wherever he won, and you're just like, we can't. We're snake bit, and then something like 2019 happens, and it's all worth it. So I just been around long enough. Like that's really it. Through Steiner, I was inducted into the Blues alumni kind of unofficially / officially. They gave me one of these bad boys.
Oh, look at that! God, you one of these.
I feel pretty strong about that.
Hey, can we see that one more time? That thing was beautiful. Look at that thing.
I genuinely enjoy going to hockey games. I never played. I mean, I played pickup hockey. I can skate. I can go forwards and backwards. But I never really played. I wasn't raised with a lot of money. Hockey equipment's expensive. We're not in Canada where it's like, everybody's got 10 brothers and hand-me-downs and whatnot. I was an only child. I just love the game, and I love talking about it. I love watching it. I've turned my girlfriend on it, and her sister and their friends. They love it. They've become Blues fans. It's like, of course, the first year that they're Blues fans, they win the fucking Stanley Cup, and you're like, okay, listen, this is not how it goes.
You don't know the pain. You don't know the pain. You don't
please let me disabuse you of that notion. Too sweet.
You kind of played the heel at the All-Star game, and I loved it. I love it. What the
absolute best.
There's quite a bit of backlash from that.
I took a little heat, but I think first of all that it's a ridiculous thing, whatever that thing is. It's like it's a carrot tops involved. So there you go, done.
Oh no!
I mean, come on. There's literally a ventriloquist dummy next to me. I'm sorry, the credibility is completely shot.
Yeah,
but
John Gumpy's got his request with a sequel to The Town. I have a rather simple, adequate request, I hope, and I'm begging you, I'm asking you, man, please start rocking some underwear more, because you're putting the rest of us out here to shame. Paparazzi pics and everything, and the chatter online. It's a lot, and I'm happy for you and I'm proud for you.
Hey, look,
you're killing
we
me.
all have our cross to bear, man.
Not sticky at all, these gloves. Yeah! Did you see that? That's what I thought. Not sticky at all, these gloves.
Man, you grab
Not
that.
sticky at all. Yeah! These gloves are just like so slick. They're so slick, it's hard to catch stuff. Shit! It's so difficult to catch stuff. Welcome back to the show. All men want to feel confident in the bedroom, but did you know that 52% of men will experience erectile dysfunction at some point?
Wow,
really? Weird, Todd.
Yeah, big time numbers there. If this sounds like something you've dealt with, you can take care of it with the help of today's sponsor, Roman.
Yeah.
A U.S. licensed healthcare professional will work with you to find the best treatment plan, and if medication is appropriate, Roman will ship it to you for free with 2-day shipping.
Okay.
That's good.
The whole process is very straightforward, discreet, and will help you make sure you're ready for the occasion. So get Roman ready and go to GetRoman.com/PAT, where you'll get $15 off your first month of ED treatment plus free 2-day shipping.
Wow.
Take advantage of this special discount. Get $15 off your first month of treatment.
Okay.
Shout out to Roman. Welcome back.
Thank you, Roman.
Thank you, Roman.
Hey, listen, I don't know what's going to be happening 2 weeks from now, so maybe have a little sex.
Yeah.
Smart. Good
You know
call.
what I mean? And when doing so, just make sure you're going out there with your full back. Go to GetRoman.com/Pat. GetRoman.com/Pat. Get $15 off your first month of ED treatment plus free 2-day shipping if you're prescribed by a licensed medical professional.
Thank you.
Smart.
Bingo.
It'll show up at your house, discreet packaging. Nobody will know.
Well,
Doesn't say boner pills.
No, it doesn't.
No, people will know, by the way, because the performance you're about to put on. Oh,
exactly.
shit.
Yeah.
The
They'll
whole
hear
town is going to be talking
The
about
whole time.
Uh-huh.
And then town's friends are all going to be talking.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, young men, you need to remember that, okay? There were conversations happening about your performance.
Yeah.
Okay, so think about that.
Yeah, be strapped.
I was obviously a virgin until I got married, so I never had to worry about any of that. But just know that that does take place. And GetRoman.com/Pat is here to help. Let's go to the phones. Let's go to DJ in Illinois. What's going on, DJ?
What's going on?
Just hanging, man.
Keep going.
Yeah.
Keep going.
How you doing?
Keep it moving.
Nailed it.
So, you guys get buried by Seahawks Twitter pretty frequently for either not talking about them enough, or when you do talk about them, talk about Russell Wilson being gone, which is a very real possibility.
So small.
But what if he stays? We got $42 million cap. We signed some guys. We get some dogs. And we come back next year, 2022 Seahawks Super Bowl champs. Book it.
Wow.
All right, I like that.
Good
dude.
declaration.
Why not?
I mean, it could happen. Got a lot of money. They bring Russ back. How you doing? Keep moving. I actually, I muted the word Seahawks on Twitter.
Really?
Smart.
Yeah, so I don't even hear it. It's awesome. I also did that with Raiders because that Cody dude was doing his
Yep.
thing. It's been a nice existence in there, and I would assume we do get buried by the Seahawks fans because there's not a lot to talk about unless it is super negative, and we apologize for the East Coast bias. But if Russell Wilson is on your team, I think your team is going to have a chance to win a Super Bowl. So maybe we should talk about him a little bit more and him staying, although it has been relatively quiet from Team 3. So maybe that's the much more likely option is that Russell Wilson remains a Seahawk, AJ Hawk.
I mean, yeah, he definitely could, but does the Seahawks fans online really get upset that we don't? I feel like we talk about Seattle a decent amount.
No, you don't talk about them enough.
They didn't go to the playoffs this year, right?
And three other teams in their division did.
Well, they're the only team in the NFC West that is appearing to be in a bad spot. Now, they have a lot of money. They have Russell Wilson, but the future does not look as bright as it once did when you had the Legion of Boom in them.
True.
No offense. We appreciate the Seahawks. And by the way, every time the Seahawks play on national television, I love when they throw that fucking fish.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Every single time they throw that
graphic.
goddamn fish. There has to be something else to do in Seattle, but I assume every time you go there,
Have to.
throw the fish.
Bobby Wagner actually said there is nothing to do.
Well, there's a needle. You ever been in
As
space?
someone who lived on the West Coast, there wasn't many Seahawks fans before the Legion of Boom.
Shots fired. Hasselback. Eat it.
They did put him on the map, really, even though they went to a Super Bowl before that.
Well, that's Hasselbeck. We want the ball. We're going to score.
Not that year.
Beast
Ufa
play.
Tutupu, stud linebacker on that team.
Oh, yeah.
USC legend.
Absolutely. Big Goose.
That's
Absolutely.
right.
Yeah.
Hour 3's on the other side. We'll have Edgerrin James joining us.
Yes.
Hall
time?
of Famer. He'll be on like 210, I believe. 210. He obviously has the book.
Is it in your book club?
Boom! From gold teeth to gold jacket, his story, incredible story. Listening to his speech at the Hall of Fame, is incredibly inspiring. He used to go out with the boys, not drink, drive them all home, and then he'd work out like 3, 4 a.m. and then go back to work.
Weapon.
Unbelievable. Cannot wait to hear him and chat with him, plus more phone calls on a 5-hour NG phone line. We'll see you in 6 minutes. Hope everybody's alive. All right. That's something we got to start adding, by the way.
Yeah, seriously.
That is
Yeah.
nice.
Hope everybody remains alive.
Or just the team we're rooting for.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, but it'd be cool if everything just stopped.
That'd be exactly.
Yeah.
That'd be nice. Too.
Ceasefire!
But that's impossible now at this point because there's already going to be repercussions for what had already happened.
For sure.
Bingo.
So now
We're
you
in
have-
it now.
So now you
Has
have
Biden
to.
spoke yet?
It's already started.
I think he is speaking, yeah.
I mean, they've been teasing it for like 3 hours that Biden was going to
He
speak.
is right now.
I thought he was supposed to go live at 12:30, and I just assumed we were going to hear about it. I guess he is live right now. And as we get quotes, why are you watching this? Actually,
Yeah,
let's go to a break. We'll be back in 6 minutes. Let's go figure out what's going on in the world. We'll be back in the third hour talking sports with Edgerrin James, AJ Hawk, the boys, and hopefully you on a 5-hour NG phone line 1-833-4 McAfee. We'll see you then. Don't break the table, obviously.
I just break shit.
Sorry, man. Somebody came sprinting behind the barrier and tried to spear him.
I fucking dare somebody.
Oh, no!
I dare the next fool.
Ass kicking.
What?
Saudi Arabia.
What?
Riyadh.
What?
Taking a jet plane.
What?
All the way there.
What?
All the way back.
What?
On the way back.
What?
WWE champion.
Hey, you shit! Hell yeah!
That just destroyed our shit.
It really comes down to, and pardon my French, but giving less fucks. I think that it's a maturity that comes from aging, from making mistakes, from failing, from being too sensitive at times, from taking things too personal at times. And it's about growth and learning not to be indifferent, because I think indifferent people are terrified of making choices, and it's a cold place to live. It's about choosing what to care about, and the things that you do care about, it's less things. It's not trying to be a part of every conversation or get involved in everything or setting yourself up to be offended about certain things. It's caring more about specific things and less things. And with those things, it's finding ways to solve the problems, because true happiness doesn't come from eliminating all problems in your life, I believe. It comes from solving the problems that you have and dealing with the pain and the suffering that is natural in life and is a part of life. It's not fleeing from pain and suffering and running from those things and not dealing with the emotions situations. It's looking at those head on and saying, how can I solve these problems and make my life a little bit better? And that's what I've tried to do the last couple of years. And I've talked about in this show as well. It's about perspective. And I truly believe this, when you focus on the things that you have more than the things that you don't have, you allow yourself to let gratitude sink in. And when the gratitude sinks in, it is always accompanied by joy, because you're focusing on the blessings that you have, not on the things that you don't have, the things you wish you had, the way you wish your life was that much better, you wish you had this, you wish you had that. You'll always be unsatisfied. But when you take solace in the fact that you're where you're supposed to be, and that life is going to come at you with pain and suffering and failure and frustrations and mistakes, and just trying to solve those problems and do a little bit better next time, it allows you to, I think, be a little gentler with yourself and admit that you're a human. You're going to make mistakes. You're not going to please everybody. There's always going to be a 500-pound elephant of possibly hatred and malice waiting for you at every decision you make, and that's just part of life. You got to deal with it and just try and be better the next time.
So you feel freer, it feels like, huh? You kind of feel free.
Yeah, there's a liberation that comes from caring less about the things that don't really matter in this life, I think. And I will say, if anything, and I know the two of you, the best on this show, and so I won't speak for the other boys, but I'm sure they're very similar. There's a lot of joy in being unapologetically yourself. And I think in life we respect people the most often who are that way, who don't try and change or be different or grow meek in situations that require courage, that go quiet in situations that require communication. And that's what I appreciated in both your friendships, is that you guys have always been yourselves. And Pat, I haven't known you as long as I've known AJ. I sat next to AJ for 9 years, and I had so much love for him and appreciation for the friend that he is. But I always admired and was inspired by the fact that AJ was always himself. And he believed that who he was exactly who he was supposed to be. And he didn't have to be different or put on a face for anybody. He was unabashedly himself. And I think there's a lot to be, gained from doing it that way. And what I love about you and the boys is that's who you are. You guys show up every single day, not with an agenda, but with an open mind, and create conversations around important topics, and then you just be yourselves.
The Pat McAfee Show.
There'll be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we can talk about. Yes,
speaking his mind.
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
While being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake-ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat McAfee Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back to hour 3 of We Need a Distraction. There's a war going on Thursday, February 24th, 2022. It shall begin now. Hey! To my left, your right on the screen, AJ Hawk. Hey, baby AJ.
Hey, baby AJ.
Well, you don't know about this guy who's sitting in front of a very real bookshelf with a head that is the size of a horse, a lumbering man. This guy, all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers.
Holy shit.
This dude, NFL Throwback, put a video out of his highlights, some of his highlights, not all of his highlights, because that wouldn't be able to make it onto a social media post. This dude was an absolute specimen on the football field. So whenever you hear him say toxic, dumb things or get buried by the boys here at the toxic table, at Ty Schmidt, at Boston Connor, one half of the Hammered Down Cowboys, Tone Diggs, remember that this dude is a specimen.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
We need to remember that. Yeah, especially because you don't know what the future looks like.
That's right.
No, it's
It's great to have that jaw and that head on our side.
Yeah. Need him in your corner.
Yeah, let's remember that.
The second highlight of that highlight reel actually was a sack on Joe Flacco, and the announcer said, third sack of the game by A.J. Hawk.
Well, and also they said, wow, in about 5 years from now, he would be suspended for 10 games for that tackle.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a, hey, Joe, see you later. And you probably, in your eyes, well, he's taller. What am I supposed to do? Right down. You know, but you.
That's a real thing, man. I was shorter than most people. So, yeah, a lot of times just incidentally, the crown of my helmet would hit their chin or something.
Yeah.
Okay.
Incidentally, it would hit him right on the.
If I was taller, that wouldn't happen.
Well, and see, that's not your fault. And then you've said numerous times that if it's kill or be killed, then a motherfucker must die then. And I don't know if Joe Flacco's jaw was going to kill you, but to get the job done, you did incredible things on the football field, and we're lucky for it. Let's talk about the next football season. The odds are out, and the odds have changed, actually, on who's going to win this Superb Owl. And I know this is very early in the game, and we have no clue what any team is going to look like, literally. There might be players that want to get the fuck off their team after they see what their team does in the entire free agency period before the deadline. And nowadays, players can force themselves out of teams. The Bills are the favorite at plus 700, ending their season in a fashion that we'll all remember forever. Josh Allen wheeling and dealing, slicing and dicing, throwing dimes time after time against the Kansas City Chiefs in the home of the Chiefs. He balled out. He got a lot of things, off the old bucket list, checklist for when people judge a quarterback, but obviously overtime did not allow him to get back on the field because their defense, which had no Pro Bowlers but multiple All-Pros, wasn't able to get a stop against Patrick Mahomes. Probably going to lead to some change in some rules because this happened to Patrick Mahomes years ago. The Bills, though, come back. Everybody's coming back. Everybody's pissed off. They seem to have that culture over there that you would want to be a part of. We interview with Jordan Poyer, Josh Allen. Doesn't matter who it is from that squad. Tyler Big Ball Bass. They are... Even McDermott, Bean stopped by. Everybody feels like they're all on the same program. And Buffalo is in a place that isn't like big city, big lights, obviously. But they're the favorite. Do you like that? Do you hate that? And is there anything else on here that surprises you, AJ?
I like that. I understand them putting the Bills with the best odds. It does make sense with how good they actually can be. And, I think they... Yeah, when you look at the Bills, you think this team is going to be very good for a long time. I think you hit it no matter who we have on from the Bills, they all seem to love each other. They seem to have a great time in there, and they seem to work their asses off, and they take a lot of pride in it. That's why I would feel pretty good about that. I was more going towards the column all the way to my right, all the worst odds, and trying to say, is there a team in there you could take a flyer on and make a bet that really does have a chance to win it all?
Well, and then you think about the Bengals winning 4 games and seeming to be inevitably dead, and then they go on to make the Super Bowl, not win the Super Bowl. It gives all those teams way over their hope. I would like to see where Cincinnati was in this 1 year ago. Probably a plus 5,000 odds. But maybe even a little bit more than that. So there's some teams over there, I get, like the Raiders, Who knows what the Raiders
playoffs last year.
Could easily go on a run.
The Raiders could go, and they're plus 5,000. Those are good odds. Now, granted, plus 700 if you like the Bills. That's good money.
Very.
The Cardinals are plus 2,400. Last year it was probably much different because they were going all in. Now nobody has a clue what that team's going to be like, so the sports books are being a little bit more conservative. The Colts are at plus 2,400, I think, a couple of days ago. Now they're at plus 2,600, probably because they don't know who the quarterback's going to be. Now that the Colts have basically come out and said, all right, we're done with the Carl experiment. I mean, there's just so many question marks, so it's hard for actual odds to be placed, but there does feel like there's some good value on some teams. Packers are plus 1,300. That team, if Aaron's back, are fucking still primed and ready to go.
The Bengals, August of last season, before the season started at FanDuel Sportsbook, were plus 12,000. They were 29th of the 32.
Lions. Yeah. No, that was in August, though. That was after free agency and everything, right? Where they paid a bunch of players.
August 30th, 2021.
Damn. So they're probably worse odds than that at this moment.
Yeah.
Because remember in the offseason, they brought in Trey Hendrickson, they brought in a DB, they brought in
lineman.
So they were probably at like plus 15, maybe even plus 18 last year at this particular time. So everybody has a chance. This was before Davis Mills was announced as a starter, I assume.
Yeah,
sure.
I assume. And
they're going to jump into the other column when that gets factored in.
You think they're going to move into L3 there? You think they're going to bounce into the Steelers? The Commanders have a better...
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. That's Mason. That's Mason Rudolph.
Oh yeah, who's the
Heineke.
quarterback? All these things, like the Vikings, they're trying to move Kirk Cousins.
Wait till Carl Wentz comes to Steelers.
Seahawks still.
I know Seattle. That's the one that blows my mind.
What's that?
If Russell Wilson stays plus 3,300.
With that cap space.
Yeah, they're in the NFC West.
Yeah, but who knows
Still,
what's going
Russ.
on? Cardinals, Niners being that high kind of surprised me because is Trey Lance good?
Well, and then Shefty came out on Ari Mirov's podcast, which I saw for the first time. I had read clips of the podcast,
Like the video.
seen it for the first time, and a baby Ari, at My Sports Update, Pro Football Focus entity, news accruer and distributor on the internet for us, NFL News. He was I believe he was in real estate game. I think he was in real estate, and then he's full time in accruing, reading through memos, and releasing information to the world. We're big fans of Ari Mirov.
Oh, yeah.
Ari Mirov has a podcast. Adam Schefter was on Ari Mirov's podcast, and Adam Schefter, who we know has a tight relationship with San Francisco. We know this is the case. Like I think he has broken things almost directly from Lynch or Shanahan. He has a good relationship in San Francisco. He's not 100% sure they're trading Garoppolo. I thought he already had a goodbye party. I thought he already, hey, it's been fun. I'll see you guys. And then they came out publicly and were like, yeah, we're basically going to trade this dude. This thing's over. Now, if Schefter's saying that there has to be some weight to it, and there's no difference now than there was whenever he gave his goodbye speech and they did that whole announcement on Trey Lance's development. Right? It wasn't like in the last 3 weeks they thought they were going to see super growth from Trey Lance. That's a very interesting situation there because Jimmy G, wins games. Yeah. Jimmy G wins games for whatever reason over there.
Yeah, he does. But, the Niners in a weird spot. If you move on from Jimmy, if you trade him or whatever, he's not there anymore. Who are you going to bring in? You're going to want like a vet backup, I would imagine, for Trey Lance if he gets hurt or things aren't working out.
Fitz
Magic, you just bring him right in?
Well, they go water slides over there?
I think
Jimmy Devoe, maybe?
San Francisco.
and Santa Clara. Oh,
I don't know if they're San Francisco ain't gonna let anybody around there ain't no water slide parks open in San Francisco. I don't think.
He might make it part of his contract to put a massive water slide in his backyard.
We don't know if that's true, by the way.
No, we don't.
Don't know if it's true. Some random caller to a random radio. I don't want to say random. I think they're a pretty big radio show in the DMV area. Called in and said Ryan Fitzpatrick likes to ride those big water slides. I've
Fast
seen
ones.
He hurt his hip doing that. That's how he got hurt. And then he inevitably got hurt on the field. Now, that is an anonymous, alleged story about water park slides. But if we know anything about Ryan Fitzpatrick, brain of a Harvard man, heart of a plumber, probably does love water slides.
Yeah, shirtless in Buffalo.
Probably does love water slides.
Who doesn't enjoy water slides?
I agree, by the way. I'm a big water slide guy.
I just rode a ton of them last week at that cruise.
Of course you did.
Did you go all the way to the top?
Tallest one in North America, they said.
What? Hey, you're a stud. All right.
Screaming OH.
Let's pivot away from, you doing the OH on top of that thing. By the way, after you do the water slides, you feel like that at night when you lay down in bed, like you're going going down a slide. Did you experience that on a cruise ship? You had your sea legs and your water slide body, or is that not happening?
I did not. Maybe I just didn't pay attention enough. I'll try next time.
Oh, you're so drunk.
When you were when you got off the cruise ship, when you were taking a shower at home, you didn't feel it?
You do feel like you're moving when you get off the ship. Yeah.
Okay,
That's what you're at.
So you're sometimes drunk, sometimes not drunk.
I didn't feel like I was going down a water slide when I laid in bed, though.
Okay, well, listen, that's you.
Hey, let's get to Edrin. Are we making him wait?
Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, joining us now, a Hall of Famer, an absolute NFL icon. And once I got a chance to learn a little bit more about his story via his Hall of Fame speech, I am absolutely infatuated with this dude's mindset, his ability, his skill, and he is beloved by every single human in the Indianapolis Colts organization. Did not get a chance to play on the same team as him, but everybody behind the scenes, that's Edge. Love Edge. Edge. Love Edge. Love Edge. Every single person. His book, From Gold Teeth to Gold Jacket, details a story of a man who literally was hustling and figuring life out and working his ass off to achieve absolute greatness. Ladies and gentlemen, Edrin James.
Yeah!
What up, man?
I like that intro, man. That's a great intro, man.
Hey, you deserve it, Edge, honestly, because I didn't get a chance. Obviously, you went to Arizona, I believe, before I got there. And whenever we played against Arizona, there was an entire video montage. And everybody in Indianapolis and everybody on our sideline, I remember conversations afterwards just being like, he was beloved by every human everywhere he's ever been. That has to be a great testament, dude. Congratulations on being like a fucking great dude. That doesn't happen everywhere. Why do you think?
But I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
Why do you think that is, Edge? What do you think it is? Why do you think that is that a something you try to do? And like, were you trying to be invested in everybody in the building? And like, have you always been that way?
It's just a natural thing, and I get along with everybody, but I understand everybody, so I wasn't too big for anybody in there. So from the janitor to equipment people, anybody in the calf, I got along with everybody, because I kind of knew somebody that was in their field growing up. So I had a great appreciation for what they was doing.
I watched a little bit of a documentary that you were airing on your Instagram at Edrin James, an incredible follow, and you were walking through your home neighborhood in the room you stayed in, and then the field you started working in. And I think during that I realized, and I think during your Hall of Fame speech, and I saw it in the beginning of the book here, From Gold Teeth to Gold Jacket, which is available right now, forward by Peyton Manning. It's an incredible story. I can't wait to ask you more about it right now. But it felt like when you were a teenager, you had that hustler mindset almost. Like you knew.
Oh,
yeah, is that real? And what do you think that came from? What do you think it came from?
It just, it came from my family, but just always wanting more. Once you realize there's nobody to go to, nobody to turn to, and you want something, you got to do something about it. So I've always done something about whatever I needed to accomplish or everything that I wanted. So for me, it's a no-brainer. Other than that, you're going to sit idle and you're going to become dependent. And I never wanted to be dependent.
What was that process like, actually writing the book and also getting Peyton Manning to do the forward for you?
Well, the book process was actually pretty cool because you had to, you go back and you reflect a lot, and you go back and you start thinking about things you probably have forgotten. It's been so many years that you've actually visited certain spaces. And then as I went back to Immokalee at times, and you would think of things and you would have more things to actually include in the book that would give people more insight. And as far as Peyton, it's just a phone call away. Just, hey, P, I got a book going on. What's up? And it's no problem. No, we get along fine.
Well, that's an amazing thing to hear, obviously. And Peyton has nothing but respect for everything you've done. And I feel like you view it the same way on the way back there. Whenever you're going into the Hall of Fame, is that when you start the book? Whenever you had to reflect on your Hall of Fame speech? Or was the book kind of in the works before that? Or like, how much did that reflection and kind of diving back for your Hall of Fame speech, which was unbelievable, did that lead to this whole process? Or were you kind of in the middle of it already?
No, the Hall of Fame were kind of, that was the icing on the cake. That would make the book complete. Without the Hall of Fame, the book is not complete. It was like it's the journey, the whole journey from the start to finish. And anybody that's playing the game of football, hopefully their goal is to end up with a gold jacket. And I think that closes off a chapter that actually gives a lot of insight on the different things that it took to actually get there. And the story kind of details the path that was taken to actually make it to the Hall of Fame, and to end it with a Hall of Fame jacket. That made it even better. Without the jacket, I probably wouldn't have wrote the book.
Well, From Gold Teeth to Gold Jacket is the perfect title. I mean, honestly, and hey, Grills had a run, Edge. Hey, Grills, they had a run, but down in South Florida, though, it was a whole different thing, right? Like the Gold Teeth was a big deal, right? In South Florida, it was much different.
Yeah. In South Florida, you get your gold, especially if you get them at an early age, it's like you've arrived. Like, it's like a statement. Like, we got a way of kind of flexing our muscle or showing who we are without even saying much, So that was one thing that I had early on, and going into the NFL, that was something that's unusual. But I brought South Florida with me, and anything I do, I bring South Florida with me.
We love it, and you put on for not only South Florida, but also everybody that has ever been viewed differently. And I think that was like a big part of your Hall of Fame speech, like people potentially judged you before getting to know you for the dreads, the gold teeth and everything like that. And then you told this story about how you'd be out with your teammates because you viewed that chemistry building as being very important. You would drive them home. Then you wouldn't drink it all. You would drink like a cranberry juice and you'd work out at like 3 a.m. Did anybody know that while it was happening, or was that literally just you?
Now, that was one thing that I always wanted to do. I always looked at a way to have an advantage, but it's also it shows discipline. You know, you have to have discipline if you're going to make it, especially in the NFL. You have to have discipline, and to be able to hang around everybody and be in the midst of all the temptations and pick up a cup and not put no substance in there, drink cranberry. And it's hard, but it's not hard when the mission is more important. So I stayed consistent with it. I made sure that it wasn't my thing. You know, it wasn't my thing to be drinking and trying to play at a high level. You know, I think I've been doing myself a disservice, and I never want to take all those years of hard work to finally get there and then just go mess it up. You know, I never wanted to do that. You know, I wanted to see it through.
I wish I had that mentality.
Edge, have you gotten the card that Jim Irsay has promised you yet? And also, what's your relationship like with him?
We have this video. Hold on. We'll run this before your answer. We have this video actually from the Hall of Fame. Jim Irsay inducted Edgerrin James in it because of how close their relationship is. And during the parade through Canton, I believe the day before the Hall of Fame, this is what Jim Irsay said to Edgerrin James while sitting in a drop top.
I'm getting you a car, whatever car you want.
Oh, don't tell me that.
Anything you want. I don't care if you want a Ferrari, a Lamborghini. Don't tell me a Bugatti because you'll get arrested then.
So I think he also went on to say Rolls Royce. And at that moment, I was like so happy because you could tell the genuine love from Jim and how happy he was for you to be in that moment. But then you got out your phone. You're like, hold on, because your Instagram is electrifying. You got out your phone. You're like, hold on, Jim. Hold on one second.
Yeah, I got to let everybody see this.
Yeah, and Jim, by the way, Jim cuts a promo right into your phone. He's like, I'm getting Edge, a Rolls Royce, a Bentley. And then he says, and guess what? There's going to be something in the glove compartment too that he's going to love. I'm like, man, this is awesome. What did you end up picking? And how is your relationship with Jim Irsay? And how has it become such an incredible thing? Has it always been that way?
Well, first of all, I call him the big man. I've always called him big man from day one. You know, when I arrived in Indianapolis, you fly up there the day you get drafted. I flew up the next day after I got drafted, and he had this thing for my daughter. He had the outfit. You know, it's like from then it started from a personal relationship because it's like it was bigger than football from day one. He's always made sure everything was cool, but he was always real. You know, it's a lot of time you don't get a chance to run into real people. And for me, everybody looked at me. I came in, obviously I looked different and everything, but he was into music. I love music. We was hanging out. He was actually cool. You know, I'm like, man, this dude a billionaire, but he's actually pretty cool. You know, I don't know too many billionaires until I met Jim, you know?
Yes.
And so it stems from that. Then the way the love he had for the organization and you as a player, and he's doing everything that it takes to make sure you're successful. And you start saying this, and then you start building a better relationship. And then as time goes on, it just became even more dope, more cool, you know? And it's never a situation where I call and ask for anything. They gave me enough. They gave me an opportunity to be in the NFL. So that's all I ever needed. But
what car?
The relationship was intact.
What car?
You want to go to the car? You ready to get to the car?
Yeah, I'm excited to hear what you picked because in my head, as soon as he said that, I'm like, oh, we got to go with the Ghost?
Right. Nah, you can't get a Ghost. I already have a Ghost. Nah, but the car I got was...
I'm so sorry. I should have known that.
I had to go bigger than that. I had to go bigger, the big man. So no, I went and got the Phantom, the big Phantom. Yeah. So, but the reason I went with I was a car that I was gonna get myself, but that was later on in life. You know, I wasn't ready right now. But and it's like probably like almost $700,000 and no problem. So.
Hey, let's go, dude. Hey. From gold teeth to gold jacket to the back of a gold drop top with a billionaire offering up a Phantom. What a life, Edge. That's amazing. Why do you think Jim has, like, you bring up Jim Irsay's name. He's never talked about as, like, one of the coolest owners in sports, you know? I think because for a long time.
You're probably talking to the wrong people.
Yeah, I think so, too. I agree.
Yeah.
I think so, too.
Yeah, it's like, it don't get no cooler than Jim, man. I'm talking about super cool, man. Maybe people don't get a chance to know Jim. Jim cool, man.
He's traveling. Hey, he's singing right now in different. He has a band that he's traveling around in right now doing
how cool is that? You know what I'm saying? Like you get a chance to really live out life. You know, that's me. I'm doing what I do. You know, so I see that, man. I love to be in those shoes.
Yeah. One day you will, by the way, with the way you run your business. I have an immense amount of respect for that, and I'll talk to you about that here in a bit. Let's talk about the Colts, though, a little bit. Jonathan Taylor is an absolute stud. Have you talked to him? Has he reached out to you? And what are your thoughts on next season?
The coach, Jonathan Taylor, man, I think he's a great running back. And I always told him, man, you have to enjoy the year that you're having, but also, put it behind you and get ready for the next year. And that's the thing. Always get ready for the next year. Always take care of your body. And he's doing some great things and hopefully continue to keep it up. And as far as the coach, the organization is always going to do what's right. And you hate that I don't know how they lose that game in Jacksonville.
Clown town, Edge. Clowns. There was clowns in the stands. There's clowns. Yeah, how's that happen?
So I don't know how that happened, but man, they just got to figure out how to get over the top, get into the playoffs, and get that run started back over. Man, they got the back, they have the line. Now we just got to figure out what we're gonna do with every other position and solidify it.
Amen.
Edge, anyone Pat mentioned it earlier, but anyone that mentions you or that dealt with you or was a teammate or anyone around you says like only great things. There was a lady that worked at the Colts named Stephanie Paul back in the day, and she said she used to say how much she loved you. Did you bring? I don't know if she told me or someone mentioned you bringing like some fish to training camp one year or something and having them live in a little kiddie pool or anything like that. I guess you always seem to show up at camp in your little own humble ways and always had your little things you like to do.
Well, as far as camp, I always when it's time to go to camp, you got to go in this dorm, you got to go in this unfamiliar territory. So I always made it cool. Nowadays they have dorms that's already done, but when we got there, they didn't used to have carpet. They used to have nothing, So I would go and I would have somebody go and furnish my dorm to make it where it was a cool spot.
Smart.
So I always wanted to be comfortable, especially if we're going to go do all that hard work. You got to be comfortable when you go home.
Amen. I think my favorite Edge story from around the building, you just mentioned Stephanie Paul. She was there when I got into the Colts as well. Great lady. Steph is a great lady.
Yeah, definitely.
The thought of you not wanting to go to the preseason game in Japan is maybe my favorite. I think that's my favorite thing of all time. Was that business-wise? What was it? Is it just you that you weren't about? And how did they inevitably force you to go? Because I heard that was very much against your will that you were forced to go over there.
It was definitely forced, but I'm glad I went. It's like for me, I'm strictly about business. It's like, man, we're gonna go over there and run the ball 2 or 3 times and got to fly 20 hours. I'm like, what's the purpose? And like football is hard. It's hard. Like I take the game serious, so I can't get out there and just halfway do something. And we out there, we're gonna go way to Tokyo, and I'm gonna get 2 snaps, and then we're gonna be sitting on the sideline like that. I didn't see nothing fun about that. I didn't see nothing fun about that.
What did they say? They said you had to go, and then you got a chance to experience it. I assume that's why you loved it.
Yeah. So I didn't turn in my passport. I was like, okay, maybe if I don't give them my passport, I won't be eligible. But it's the NFL. As soon as they sent me this letter with the shield, you're going to be fined and suspended. And they came up with a passport out of nowhere. So I never, so it was like, they can make whatever happen, but I had to go. But I'm glad I went. It was actually cool. It was a cool experience. I don't know if I'll ever go again. That's far. It's too far for me.
Yeah, dude, 17-hour flight over there. And it is completely, I got a chance to go over to Japan for a USO trip. And trying to explain it to people, it's the complete opposite. Like, the languages are nowhere near. Like, nowhere. There isn't even, like, a chance you can even have bathroom. Like, there is.
The bathroom. Tell them about the bathroom. You're almost sitting on the floor.
Yeah. There's a pole that you hold on. I mean, it is just a different. Everybody was very nice to me. Everybody was very nice to me over there, but it is a completely different style of life. And if you ever want to bring a group together, I think you send them to Japan because literally they can't talk to anybody else. You'll only talk to the group. Yeah. And you go through a lot of shit. Literally the pole holding shit. I mean, there's a lot out there. Go ahead, Ty.
Edge, people always talk about, the moment like the game slowed down for him. Obviously, with you being the 4th pick, I assume you knew you were going to be nice right away, but I'm pretty sure you led the NFL in rushing your first 2 years. Like, was there a point where things, I guess, slowed down, or did you kind of just know going in from the jump, like, oh, I'm going to be a fucking force?
Oh, I knew I was going to be a force, but When I first got there and I saw it, when we started going through the practice schedule and the practice routine, I'm like, damn, this is just like the University of Miami. because we had Coach Davis that was at the Cowboys, and he ran everything like the pro style, practice, everything was the same. So when I got to the coach, I was expecting something different, and it really wasn't. And then the thing that made it pretty cool was, like, I'm 20 years old when I first go to my first mini camp, and you got guys 30, 31, 32. It's like nowhere a 30-year-old gonna keep up with me. You know, it's like it's impossible. And so it's, so you out there like, man, these like an old men, you know. So like I called back to the dorm at the University of Miami, I'm like, man, you ain't gonna believe how easy this thing is. It's too easy, you know. And so it went from there, you know. And then it took for me to get hurt to really appreciate the game, because now I can't do everything that I had to build myself back up. Had to start studying. I couldn't just show up, you know. At first I can just show up and they call the play. I don't got to know what nobody else is doing. I'm just going to do my job. But after you get hurt, you got to start understanding everybody's position. And that will make my game evolve.
Well, I think you would have naturally done that without getting hurt. But I just because the way you figure things out and make stuff happen, I think Frank Gore, right? Frank Gore was also in that running back room. There was a bunch in the Miami running back stable that kind of came out. And I was talking to Frank one time. And, because Frank got hurt or whatever in college. And that's a big thing. And then going in the NFL, will you be able to stay healthy? And I was talking to him on a plane one time. I was like, was there ever any doubt for you? He was like, no, I saw all of my dogs won and had success. It was my time to go. Like that, that was kind of that was the mentality,
right?
Mindset. That was how you guys had down there, right?
Yeah, because, once I'm the messenger. Once I go up there and I send the message back like, hey, y'all got what it takes. This is easy, bro. It's easy. Just don't get in trouble. Stay working out, doing what you got to do. You're going to come kill the NFL. And that's the message, because once you get somebody to go up and go kind of peep the scene and peep the game, the NFL is not what everybody think it is. Once you're at the University of Miami, you playing in that room, it's like there's no way you can't be successful. Not the guys that we had, the one that was with me and behind me.
Hey, they ever coming back, Miami? A lot of hires.
We're doing the right thing. You see all the hires. You see the way it's going. The right pieces are put in place. Before we didn't put the money behind the machine. Now we're putting the money behind the machine. So you'll see a big difference now.
Oh, you guys are getting that guy who had that boat back.
Yeah, Nevin Shapiro.
No, we're doing it the right way this time.
Well, I guess. By the way, that would have been the right way nowadays if the rules now were back then. That guy would have just been an innovator at that entire thing. But hey, listen, that guy ratted on everybody.
Yeah.
Hey, this guy got a boat. That guy got a car. We had a party. I saw him eat 2 racks of ribs.
Yeah.
I mean, that guy was, anyways. I hope Miami comes back, though, because that South Florida culture just being
coming.
Yeah, it is incredible. Go ahead, Connor.
Yeah, Edge, there's a pretty famous clip of Peyton Manning barking at Jeff Saturday after he tried to change the play. Was there ever a time where that happened to you, where you either dropped a pass or ran the wrong route and Peyton just kind of reamed you out? And also him basically yelling at you, did that also motivate you not to screw up or stay on your game?
Look at me. Who gonna talk crazy to me? Nobody gonna talk crazy to me. Man, we got a great relationship. I do what I'm supposed to do. I'm not gonna never get in the middle of that, but nobody's talking crazy to me. I'm talking crazy to nobody, and that's why we got a great relationship.
Hey, that's crazy to think about, isn't it? Because in the NFL, you see blow-ups between teammates, and
you're never gonna see a blow-up with Edge. Nobody's nah.
Is that because you think the work you put in beforehand into your friendship, or because you're always going to be on your job? Treat me accordingly.
I just think I'm a man. I'm a man. I get treated like a man. I treat people like a man. So I don't even. It's not going to even go there. It's not even a consideration. Like I'm talking about. I am that. I am what you see when you look at me. I do become that. So yeah. So it's like we're gonna keep it respectful, and we're gonna do it. We come out to do it because as bad as they want it done, I want it done, and I understand why we're doing what we're doing. So it's like, hey, this is what needs to be done. Let's do what's for the greater good. Now when it comes to time when I need incentives, I say, hey, Payne, I got incentives. So hey, Take care of your boy. Take care of your boy now.
Hey, that group.
Yeah, so.
Hey, that team you guys had. I got to come in at the tail end of it, basically the winningest decade there, and it was after you had left. But that team, just with Marv, and then obviously Reg comes in, and then Dallas and Jeff, and that entire defense, and Peyton. I mean, that was a legendary crew there. Why would you describe this, or how would you describe the success and why it happened for that group?
I think everybody had the same goals. Everybody was on the same page. Nobody said, I want to be bigger than this person. Like, P was the face of everything, and me and Marv loved sitting in the background. We just wanted to work, do what we had to do, and get out the way. We didn't want the microphone, so that helped. When you don't want you don't want the spotlight, but we all wanted to make some money. Marv, he wanted to make his money. I want to make my money. Of course, P gonna make all the money, and we just doing our thing. But we all want to be great. So it's like, it's not one day that you're gonna see one of us out there, and you're not gonna see the other two coming out to work. It's like, hey, we're gonna always we let everybody know we'll be out here this time, and everybody's showing up. It's not a forced situation because everybody wanted it. Everybody wanted to be great. And that's one thing that I know from just being there with everybody. Everybody really wanted to be great. So football was everything to everybody that was there.
Hey, why do so many studs come out of South Florida? It seems like every single year there's so many unbelievable athletes coming from there.
And those Florida boys.
I think it's the culture. The culture, but it's super important and it's big, because in every household, I think you have the mom, the dads, the uncle, everybody loves football. And plus we do it year round. So we put in more time than anybody else. We put in, and then the challenge. Then you're competing at a high level early. It's not like you're playing YMCA ball where you got to be good to get on there. You got to be really good, and everybody gets pushed from the beginning. It's not you don't get this culture shock, or you don't get the way when you get in 7th grade. All of a sudden, it's gonna be tough. No, it's gonna be tough when you're 5 years old.
You guys are running one-on-ones, right? I mean, I've heard that there's one-on-ones like as children. Like they have like 2 sets of shoulder pads. Go ahead, put it on, and it becomes like an entire, like everybody's watching. Yeah. So it's like pressure. Yeah. Like that's real stuff that happens. I don't think that, like whenever AJ says, hey, how come the South Florida boys, are so explosive and so good? It's like, well, there's a lot of things aside from it being all year. It's also like the culture is like, hey, you're going to be good at football. You're going to get exposed, right? Kind of like, isn't that?
Yeah, from the beginning, it's like, when you're doing your drills, like it's a big difference when when the parent don't get a chance to see their kids at practice. At practice, you're gonna see a lot of parents there, and if your son's not playing, you're gonna know why your son's not playing, because we're gonna line your son up right in front of another guy. We're gonna do the drills right in front of you, and if your son can't deliver in practice, you already know what's gonna happen on the game time. He's gonna have a nice, pretty uniform on all game.
Well, hopefully the University of Miami gets back, and hopefully we get a chance to chat with you again, Edge. I can't wait to read through the book. I think everybody should give it a go. Edge, you are nothing but every human that talks about you. Every single human says you're the man. And
I appreciate it.
Yeah, you've remained real the entire time. So congrats on all the success. You deserve it, and I can't wait to chat with you again.
All right, man. Anytime. I'm just a phone call away.
You're the best. Ladies and gentlemen, Edgerrin James. He's every human in the building.
Yeah.
Every single year. And then he came to training camp one year, and he was just standing on the sideline. They asked him to come in and, like, talk to some – I don't know if he was supposed to talk to the running backs or to the team. He ended up speaking to the team and everything. And Vinatieri knew him. So me and Vinny walked over to talk to him. He was like that. He was the coolest dude of all time. As soon as I said, what's up to him, I'm like, what's up, man? He's like, what's up, Pat? Full dap up. I'm like, all right, cool. You're talking to me. That's great. That's really nice. And then we got into like a full convo. And then like some of the trainers came over. And then some of the people who are in like the PR department have been around a long time. Some of the people that sell tickets there came over. Everybody was like, this guy is like the guy. I'm like, man, it's an honor to meet you, sir. And then that Hall of Fame speech where he was laying out everything that he was doing and why he was doing and how he was doing and how he felt like he was being judged by people, but he didn't let that affect him. He said, I'm about my fucking business. You can do whatever you want to do. I have the utmost respect for that guy, man. I'm a big, big fan.
Oh, I mean, absolutely. It's right. Like, I've never heard anyone be like, no, I didn't really care for him. Like, you never heard a bad word about him. Also, I wanted to ask, didn't get to, like, that sweet hammock / hanging chair he was in the whole time. That was awesome.
Yeah, I was distracted by it the entire time, and I didn't know when the right time was to ask it. That's on me. Next time we'll ask him.
Okay.
We'll ask him next time. He thinks the U's coming back, by the way. They're putting money behind the machine now.
Yeah, I heard that before. I mean, I want you to come back more than anyone.
No, this is the first time they're putting money behind this machine since that guy on that boat.
Yeah.
The Yachts and Thoughts party.
That's right.
Yeah, but they hired the guy from Oregon, and Oregon didn't really win anything while he was there.
Oh, yeah, but this guy knows the U, dude. Get out of here.
He played there, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
The title there.
That'll help.
And they also brought in old Cuzzy from Michigan.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
The guy who won the
OC.
The Walker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Gaddis?
Yeah.
Bingo.
No,
That's his name.
Defense.
They were still Bama.
Doak Walker.
Is that that's the running back?
Best running back, yeah.
The best assistant coach in the country.
Shem Beckler Award. There you go.
Broyles. There we go, college football guy. There should actually won a college football national championship. He left Michigan, so I'm out of here to go down to Miami. Jamal Adai, guy who was at West Virginia, then he was at Georgia, led them to be the best defense in all of football. Won a national championship. He's down in Miami. Hey, they're
building a little staff.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Jamal is Florida boy, I believe, so he's getting back there. They're like, hey, listen, let's
Ed's still down there.
go ahead and he's the head of culture, like McConaughey who's at Texas.
Yep. Dewey might get more involved.
Dwayne Johnson, I hope so.
Yeah.
This is a big season of Young Rock for U Miami.
He's coming on this show, by the way.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I don't know
When's he doing it?
I don't know, AJ. Why don't you ask him?
Soon.
Well, you're boys with him. I'm just a fan from afar, like everybody else.
Yeah, that's my guy, dude.
Yeah, he does love you.
This is my guy.
That's right.
I love you, man.
Were you upset he didn't tag you or didn't, use your
He
Twitter
quote
handle?
tweeted me.
Quote tweeted it. You slap dick.
There was a couple people that tweeted that, by the way. There was a couple people that you couldn't even at you. It was like, well, you don't understand Twitter. He quote tweeted my tweet. He
pops up.
I'm getting at it every single
Giving you
time.
a fucking nickname.
Yeah, he's actually helping us out immensely by even putting our thing on his feed. But with that being said, calls me Pat Mac, dude. All right.
Yeah.
Loterra Mahalo, Oos, dude.
Hell yeah. Thanks, Oos.
Thanks, Zeus. Can't wait to chat with him. He's an abs. Look at those thighs on his left shoulder.
Yeah.
Jeez. What is...
You got to get one of those.
I need to get a couple of those.
You might be bigger than by the time he comes on.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
What, AJ?
Come on.
So what is that about?
How's the keto going?
Pretty good. I'm
great.
all the way in. I'm all the way in.
When should we expect results?
All right.
What do you mean? I already got results.
Already got him,
Hey,
dude.
guys going through the keto flu right now. Give him a break.
This guy's an asshole. I'm not going through the keto flu because I have been pumping electrolytes into my body.
Smart.
Nice.
Through the Gatorade Zero pouches. Which
In ketosis yet, though?
Yeah.
I haven't pissed on a thing to tell me, but it feels like I am burning some fat.
Here we go.
There we
A lot
go.
of ketones coming out of your pee.
Yeah, a lot of them. And also, energy seems to be a little bit higher.
Here we go.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm in ketosis, dude, full time. Maybe 8 years, I look like Brock.
That'd be sweet.
Yeah,
That would be
probably.
sweet.
All right. We're back in 4 minutes. Phone calls to wrap up this show on, oh my God, we need a distraction. Thursday, February 24th, 2022. Can't wait to hear what happened in the world while we were chatting with Edger and James. Big thanks to Edge.
Thank you, Edge.
Buy his book, by the way. Support, one of the coolest dudes ever exist, it sounds like. From gold teeth to gold jacket. Edger and James, what a legend. We're back in 4 on some phone calls. 1-833-4-McAfee, the 5 Energy phone line. See you then. Now it's time for SmackDown Rumble Championship Weekend. We just had another Super Boost!
Oh, yeah.
What a fucking 3-day run. I'm lucky to live this life, and I'm thankful that you all watch.
Hey, here we go! Gotta get a no call to quit. Yeah, gotta keep on moving no matter how hard it gets. Yeah, better move out the way cause I'm coming with hard hits. My head is as hard as a brick, but I'm harder than all that is. You might be my home. You better move, you might get knocked out. Knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out.
Please work with us. Hey, my dude.
Squeeze the bike. Yeah.
Wow.
That's what I was trying to do.
I have a good try.
I'm giddy. I am so pumped. It's like the night before the first day of school when you were a kid.
sake that the GOAT of the NFL, Tom Brady, is retiring. Or the GOAT of the WWE, Roman Reigns, is in his prime at his peak. Hey, happy birthday! Happy birthday! All right, our sources haven't confirmed whether or not Drew McIntyre can be standing up, but come on, Cole! Come on, Cole! Feel it, Cole!
You better move, you might get knocked out. Knocked out. You better move, you might get
Coltrane has gone to the sky.
I'm dangerous, they don't wonder when I'm anxious. Ain't no limit till I tank. I'm running on fumes, the opposition don't amaze. The road switching through the pavement, get your hands out of my bag. I know this because I've been in it. I don't need to brag. Guess what happens when you taking care of your business. But some family, you do the math. I'm out of my pocket. Houston, got a problem, man. Perfect, let them.
Oh, fuck you, Ben.
Cole, that is one of the worst of all time.
The worst pores of all time.
And a baby Foxy! Just so everybody knows what he's doing right now. And a
Chameleon gold and magenta jacket. Big Cuban link. Obviously, good watch. Pinky chain. Gold-plated Steve Madden's.
When I woke up this morning in beautiful St. Louis, the air smelled better, food tasted better. Tonight, dreams come true, surprises are in abundance. It's Royal Rumble, let's go!
It is an honor to see the man. Once your ratings get this low, then I'll come to Buffalo. That's why you're a good guy.
A jackass has entered the Royal Rumble. Jack, good to see Wee Man is still alive after Brock Lesnar put him through a Four Seasons table last night. He is dressed like a jackass, he is a jackass, and he's in the Royal Rumble. He looks good, it sounds good. St. Louis is ready. The alpha male of our species is infuriated. Jump over the rope back, buddy. You got 2 tours. You got fans, you got music to make. You want to poop your pants immediately? Be in the Royal Rumble when this man is announced. I'm buying all of the Depends that they have because Brock Lesnar, after a brutal fight with Bobby Lashley, comes into the Royal Rumble and is an absolute ass-kicking machine. We just had another Super Boost. Back to back. Back to back.
Hey, welcome back to the Pat McAfee Show here on what the hell is going on World Thursday?
Yeah.
February 24th, 2022. It's almost already March.
I know.
It is.
In
Wild.
March, there's a lot of big time dates in the NFL.
Yeah.
I mean, we're only, 3 days into this this new season?
Yep.
And I'm already seeing a little light at the end of the tunnel
Sure.
for the down times, the drought times. Now, granted, we got March Madness around the corner as well. We have hockey happening. John Hamm joined That's Hockey Talk. AJ Hawk just joined us, obviously live. Shout out to you, AJ, for being back. There's a lot to talk about, a lot that's happening. And, if the world survives, I think we're all in a pretty good spot for shit to be entertained by.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Free agency is electric.
This is
so close.
Oh, franchise tag too. People are getting tagged left and right.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's happening.
And then the draft's right after that.
Oh, Davis Mills starting for the Texans.
Sure.
Not to mention,
Right.
after free agency, WrestleMania is right there.
Oh, dude. And if you start thinking about all these other things like pro days start happening, you remember when Zach Wilson?
Oh, the crossbody.
Oh my God! How could I forget?
And then what happens if you have 2 pro days? Because one pro day, standard throw pro day, second pro day, let's see the guy if he's an athlete.
Yeah.
He's catching touchdowns, Mac. Oh my God, pro days are right around the corner.
I think they're going to have to do where they had to do too again because some of the bigger quarterbacks' pro days are scheduled on the same day for some reason.
What's that all about? How's that still happening in 2022? There's a lot of
Great
things happening
question.
right now that I'm wondering why
Great
it's happening in 2022.
Aren't there only 3 good quarterbacks in this draft?
I don't even think there's that.
You
Yeah.
son of a bitch.
What? The schedule maker or me?
Mason Rudolph's your starter this year.
No, he's not.
Yeah.
Done deal.
Hey, Dewey. Don't
No.
sleep on Dewey.
AJ Hawk. I
Neither
think
of
big news, though, that needs to be talked about is there might be some rule changes next week at the Combine. Huh?
What do you mean?
You heard him.
I'm not talking about rule changes in the Combine, even though they lifted the bubble thing because players wanted to bring their own teams and they didn't want to have it shut down. And the NFL Combine, by the way, is run by a third party. Did not know that. Had no idea that the NFL employs somebody to run the Combine, although the NFL employees run the Combine. They put it together, I guess, and they take on all legal risk probably. If I had to guess, that is probably why the NFL does that. Yeah. But anyways, the competition committee will meet, and they're likely to talk about, overtime rules changing, maybe getting a chance to answer if somebody else scores a touchdown. This affected the Chiefs a couple years back. They actually petitioned for this same rule. They said, hey, Chiefs, get a stop. Okay, yeah, that's what they said to the Chiefs. Then here we are a couple years later. The Chiefs are on the receiving end of this thing because everybody's saying, hey, Bills, get a stop. They were not able to do that. Josh Allen was incredibly hot. We lost out on maybe Josh Allen answering Patrick Mahomes and Patrick Mahomes answering Josh Allen. Then maybe a defensive stop and then a defensive stop and then Josh Allen answering Patrick Mahomes. I mean, there is just, there's a chance that we could have seen something great and we missed out on it this particular year, but who knows how many more times this will take place in the playoffs, but they're looking to change that maybe. Then they're trying to make punts safer, because the punt is the most fucking dangerous play in the game. Everybody knows that. Bingo. That's why I love the position so much. That's why I love the play. They're trying to make it safer because there's a disproportionate amount of concussions on punts as opposed to every other play, and that could happen when there's a lot of people flying around very high speed and field position to be gained and a lot on the line, and a lot of people playing in a position that they never had to play before that isn't easy at all, or nor do they want to play it.
Bingo. How do you make it safer, though?
It's hard to.
That's what we're saying.
It's not like kickoff team where you can. They don't have running starts anymore. All of that. Like, what do you do with punt?
No fair catches.
I'm not 100% sure that the no running started. I think that would be. So we did a spring game one time at West Virginia, and they didn't want to do punt for whatever. They didn't want to do full punts. So I would get a snap. I would be on the field all by myself with the snapper, okay? And we would punt it, and wherever the returner caught it is where that team would start, right? So there's nobody else on the field but the punter, basically the snapper and the returner. It was uncomfortable. I mean, it was.
I love that the snapper was still out there.
Yeah. Well, it was his spring game
That's
too.
Right.
It was a big deal. It's like after a safety, that punt, so fucking uncomfortable. I still have yet to hit a good one. I still have yet to hit a good one in a game. In practice, when you're just fucking around and just punting, it's okay. But those weird ones where you're doing that whole thing, I was just never comfortable. And maybe I'm not mentally tough enough. But whatever the case, I don't know how you make it safer. Unless it was just a fair catch immediately upon where it's caught. I don't know how you would do a proper turnover of the ball to the other team, because what you just said, gain 40 yards if you want to elect it. Well, that's not the case because there's advantages to be gained in the entire game. I don't know how they change it. I honestly.
They've already taken away a lot of the big time hits that come from like crackback blocks and all of that on punt.
Yeah, and on long field goals, any returns, and basically all special teams plays.
So everything's going to have to be a fair catch, and then if he drops it, you're allowed to hit him? Like, how's it work?
Yeah, until there's 0 concussions? Is that what the goal is? Hey, I hope. Good luck. Listen, people running around with helmets on their heads, bashing into each other. We hope there's no more concussions ever in football. That's what we hope. We are on that side. We want no more CTE.
None.
No more conversations.
Correct. No.
But with that also being said, we don't flag football, right?
No.
It feels like they're trying to eliminate special teams as a whole, like the kickoff and the punt.
Yeah, these medical folks are certainly trying. Hey, look at this disproportionate amount of statistics here about concussions. Remember concussions? You guys got sued for a lot of money for, and probably in the future going to get sued for more. And this is a particular play. I understand you can paint that picture, but are we going to let's not ruin a game.
Let's not ruin a game.
With that being said, hope nobody ever gets a concussion.
Obviously.
Hope nobody gets a concussion ever.
Wear a mouth
But
guard.
like you said, you got guys with helmets on running 20 plus miles an hour and, launching themselves into other guys. You're going to have...
I thought those new light helmets, you're not supposed to get concussions in those.
Well, the thing with the light helmets is the guys actually run faster in them.
Yeah.
So it's like...
But all the cool, weird shapes, and it comes down and protects your jaw, and you have terrible chin straps. Like, doesn't that help you?
Yeah, but when, it turns out when people running 23 miles an hour, when you'd be speeding in a school zone, some people, and you, imagine if your car hits something, I think that's potential.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's potential, airbag will be deployed if that happens.
Ooh, maybe that's what they do.
Oh, maybe airbags deploy on punt. No, punt team, put the bubbles on.
Yeah.
Oh.
The sumo suits.
Yeah.
You got to wear a sumo suit.
No, those actual,
the bubbles.
the round balls.
Yeah.
That you have
And
to,
you got to waddle down there.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
Punter gets the ball snapped from a long snapper that is not wearing bubble. Long snapper then walks off field. Punter has 7 Mississippi to wait.
Yes.
His coverage team waddles down, and then you punt. And then the returner catches it Then he gets put into
the bubble.
into a bubble, and he starts running as well. Wherever bubble falls of returner, that is where the other team gets the ball.
Do you have to put a bubble on after you kick it?
I'm off the field.
Yeah,
You got to run directly to the sideline.
Yeah. I'm not running because nobody's getting anywhere quick. So I'm actually just going to jog it off. Maybe walk. Probably a good walk sometimes, depending on how good of a ball it was. Probably want to get off the field, but
I'll kind of like pimp one, like a home run.
Yeah.
You're welcome, NFL.
I'm like going to push somebody. It's
Knock a ball over. Yeah.
Boom. What's that all about? That's what I thought. I'm going to sidelines 15 yards. I don't care.
We did it.
That could happen. Let's go to the fence. I don't know how you fix it. I think we're all on the same page. But like, also, we don't want any concussions. But also, it's football.
1 or 2's fine.
It's football, dude. Football, it's going to happen. You watch fighting and boxing, the way it ends is a concussion, actually.
Yeah.
But then in the future, like, oh, concussion, this is a brutal sport. Yeah, it's fucking fight. Like, it's football. Like, that is something that's going to happen. I don't want to sound like a meathead. I don't want to sound like that at all. But as a fan and as somebody that got a chance to watch it very close and just see, like, hey, football has some incredibly insane shit happening at it. And people's bodies are able to survive them somehow. People go through a lot, but then they're able to get back up and do it again. It's almost like, hey, it's a part of the spectacle that is the sport. And then now also, we got to get rid of it completely.
We got to integrate like a surgery, like that their brains become like woodpeckers, where like their tongue wraps around their brain, and that's how they don't get concussions.
Those rams. Remember those battling rams that smash their heads into each other?
Okay.
What if you've
Do the Rams have their tongues wrapped around their brains like the woodpeckers?
No, they align their spine perfectly, so it doesn't matter. What if you've had...
I think they have an extra layer of padding.
You could play
too.
punt team
until
you've had 5 or more concussions.
Okay, 5's a lot.
Okay.
5's a lot.
5 is a lot.
5 could be deadly.
5's a lot.
3.5 or more concussions.
What if it's just one-on-one? Punter versus returner.
That'd be awesome.
Sweet.
Yeah.
That would be awesome.
No, you get 2. You get the long snapper and you get to cover the punt.
Well, all of a sudden, AJ Hawk would be long snapping then.
Yeah.
I just give me the safety. Hey, guy, listen.
Wow.
You just got to fucking just throw. Just do this. Just do this, and then it's going to be you and me versus that guy. I'm going to try to hit this thing left, though.
I mean, the fakes you could run, too.
Oh,
gotcha.
Well,
I don't think we'd be able to run fakes, right?
Well,
that's it's tough.
Then the because the returner has to gauge.
You could put flags on maybe if you want to run a fake.
And a ghost
Can we
runner.
not look past the idea that Zito presented, though? Like,
wrapping your tongue around your brain.
Yeah.
Drill a hole through your esophagus into your brain, and then
Let's
build
just talk
along
about how
the tongue.
woodpeckers don't get concussions.
Yeah, and
all they do is hit their heads against wood and glass.
Remember the old house, a woodpecker was a glass pecker.
Yeah.
That son of a bitch was so drunk. He was just breaking every window I had at my house.
Never got concussed.
And he was living good too. That son of a bitch was the size of a toddler.
Yeah, huge.
Flying through the goddamn sky. That nose is huge. And he had the callus was built up on that brain, I guess, from the tongue. That dude was ready to go at any time. Fucking A. We got to get out of here. This show stinks.
I don't think woodpeckers. I just did some quick research. Tongue thing, I don't think.
No, I
come
forget
on.
which bird it is.
What do you mean?
I thought I saw that
woodpecker.
somewhere.
There is a bird that does that. Yeah,
It is a woodpecker.
It just says they have a very small brain, so it's hard to hurt.
Oh, bird brain. Bill
They
Sir
do have an extra long tongue, though.
Bill Sir used to tell me, Pat, if a bird had your brain, it'd fly backwards and whistle dicks. That's what we'll try to do tomorrow. See you then. Bill Sir did tell me that. Rest in peace.
R.I.P.
Because birds are dumb. You see?
Yeah.
And what he was saying,
Even better.
that I'm dumber than birds.
Not all birds.
Do we know that birds are dumb?
Most birds are dumber.
Nah,
than
not
shit.
the parrot and the ones that I had out at the place I was staying in Hawaii. Me and this bird had full conversation, dude.
Yeah.
Me and this bird had full conversation. And then when he saw me the next time, by the way, he would give me like his aloha, which was like a. I was like, oh. And then
Was he in a cage?
Yeah.
Oh, he like lived where you were staying?
Yeah.
Domestic.
Did he talk?
bird.
Did he speak?
Oh yeah.
What did he say?
Hello, goodbye, that type of stuff.
I've always wanted one of those.
Yeah, but I guess they don't shut the fuck up. Like, I guess that
Yeah.
is something that happens. Like, if you were to actually own it, it was in a part of the resort where I don't think a lot of rooms were, because these things are chatty, I guess. I guess these things are chatty. Once they learn something, it's like, all right. You know, they say you sound like a parrot or whatever. Like, I guess parrots do actually sound like parrots, where they just say the same fucking thing over and over and over again. But they do have the capabilities, I think, to learn more. But the amount of time you have to invest in teaching a bird how to say more things, it's like an entire.
Could you put a voice recording next to its cage all day, just repeating a couple words?
Hey, I'm all about a good. How do we get to B as quick as possible from A? That sounds like a great answer.
What would you teach him? What's the first word you would teach?
What? Somehow with all these birds, she's an early riser, so she goes and gets a coffee and like does a walk through the entire thing and has relationships built with these birds by the time I wake up, right? So like as we get in there, we do that whole thing. The thought of us getting a bird, I think, crossed a lot of people's minds when she was posting about these birds, and it crossed my mind as well as I was waking up, and I would like, hey, where she's on her way back to the room. Cool. I go on social media. It's her feeding a parrot by hand and saying, I love you and everything. And I'm like, well, I'm getting a bird. That's what it sounds like. A bird is coming into my life or whatever. And then the whole thought of all the work that goes into, I have to now present that case in conversation.
Oh, yeah.
Just in case Sam gets a little bit of feeling a little froggy about getting a bird. So I have to make sure that without openly coming out and saying, hey, listen, we ain't getting a fucking bird. Okay, because
You want to clean up all those dumps? That thing just dumps all day in its cage.
Yeah, smells like shit.
Yeah, so I had to look up all those things you just said there. I was looking up all the bad things about owning a bird, basically. So I was trying to drop those into conversation. Sam had a bird growing up. She didn't really want a bird anyway, so she enjoys the entire bird thing. But she did bring up a very valuable point that I just presented there. She said, imagine if that bird was able to say, why?
Why?
Why? That would be an incredible thing for the show. And I'm like, now we got to sleep on this, I guess.
Yeah.
I also did spook too soon. If you read a little bit further, the woodpecker's tongue does retract back into its head behind its brain, which helps.
Z.
Good job, Z.
That baby Z.
Look at you, Z.
My grandma had a couple birds, saved her life.
What do you mean?
She woke up
Gas
one morning and the birds
Canary?
were dead. There was gas leaking.
Carbon monoxide.
Yep.
Nice.
That's why they used to fly
Miners
canaries.
used to use them, right?
Yeah, canaries used to fly them in there.
That's pretty
Could
crazy.
she instantly put that together? Like, gas leak, gotta get out of the house?
Yeah, she's smart, dude.
Probably.
Yeah.
Did she have the bird in there for a reason? Because she knew, okay, if these guys go, they're my canary in the coal mine?
No, they were pets.
Why didn't the birds use their tongue to filtrate the carbon monoxide?
They're parakeets.
I think it's a different breed.
Parakeets have small tongues.
It's a different breed.
Maybe what about an owl?
I'll tell you what, I had an owl on my one of my properties out here.
They kill a lot of things.
Yeah.
Stairway.
They're awesome. Bro, they are fucking G's, dude.
Muck.
I moved into this. This house had it was an old golf course, but it was on a floodplain, obviously.
Yeah.
And I knew that when I bought it. They told me about that, hey, like, for large portions of the year, this entire thing would just be like a swamp.
Okay, it's perfect.
Can't be that long at the time, but it was. It was a very long time of the year. It smelled. It was a lot to deal with.
A lot of skeeters.
It was not great. It was not fantastic. A lot of property, whenever we're in the middle of a drought, it was great. But most of the year, not fun at all. I mean, there was a barn there, had a wrestling ring, that whole thing. But the first time it dried enough for me to go experience the property, I took a quad. I go to the back, and I'm just like looking around, like, holy shit, there's a lot of animals that live here, right? Because there was a lot. This fucking owl was just standing on a branch, like right in front of me, did not flinch, did not move, just stared at me basically like, hey, you came to my fucking property. This was this fucking big.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, this big? What is that, a 6-month-old? Or I don't even know. I don't even know the baby size this is. And they are killers. They got the big things. They're like kind of creepy looking, but also I was like, this is an incredibly cool fucking creature.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They exist.
They'll push you downstairs too and murder you.
Well, that's what happened in a staircase.
And if you don't treat it right,
What?
if you don't treat the owl right, yeah, it
Push
will
you
do that.
downstairs.
It'll fly.
Is that his defense, really?
Yeah.
Hey, if you look into these types of owls,
Yeah.
We
It
had
happens.
lawyer Dave on the show.
he was great.
They're
Did I see
violent.
they're making a movie
Yeah,
about
they
that?
actually just
HBO
announced that
special.
today.
Nice.
Who's playing?
That's big news. That's kind of got swallowed in
Yeah.
the other news.
Yeah, I mean, in retro, kind of. I
Owl
guess it doesn't
movie?
matter very much.
What the-
But yeah, Colin Firth playing the guy who killed his wife,
Really?
allegedly. Yeah.
Isn't
Eastern
Cena playing
owl
the
is-
owl?
That's like a
Roger
5-foot
Rabbit?
owl right there, guys.
That's Easter Bunny.
What?
Test tube baby playing the owl? Are you serious?
That was not the type of owl that was in my.
Oh, I just typed in very scary tall owl.
I mean, that's scary.
That is and look at the,
What
look
were
at
those
its
bats that we saw that were 6 feet tall?
Oh, my God!
Oh,
Yeah,
those foxies.
those things are terrifying.
Those things are scary.
Scary. I'm
find them.
blocking off the screen because I don't want to see them.
No, there was like
Nightmares.
3 of them, 4 of them. There was like 6 foot tall, 7 foot tall bats.
Where do they live?
I'm not sure.
Gotta be Australia.
No, I thought it was South America.
Australia. Everything that's in,
The crown flying fox.
Yeah, I think it was South America. There's things just hanging
Giant
from some dude's
golden
garage.
crown flying fox.
Where are they from?
Let me read.
Indianapolis.
Philippines.
Philippines.
Oh, okay. Phew.
They can fly.
Yeah.
No,
Look
you
at
have.
that.
It's the fucking thing from Jeepers Creepers.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, how tall is that for real?
7 foot. It has to be.
6 feet.
That's from the roof of that thing.
Did this guy? Hopefully, this guy had a shotgun with him.
Yeah, bingo.
I think that is a dead one there.
Rocket launcher.
You think?
I don't know. It's holding
If
its.
he's dead, can he still hold
just
on and
resting.
hang
Yeah,
upside down?
I think she's chilling.
Oh, that's a pet,
It
maybe.
went into rigor mortis.
No way.
That's a pet, maybe?
No way. That thing will eat an entire family.
Yeah, maybe the humans are the pets.
Can we see one of those like in action that's flying or something?
Do those things. I don't understand how airplanes fly.
Oh, that's not real, is it?
Holy shit.
We need in
It's
comparison.
a bear.
I can't tell if that's
Looks like a German Shepherd in the head.
Yeah.
He did sound exactly like that, Zeke. I think if you were to hear this, if this photo had any audio, it would sound like that.
Jeez.
Is that the scariest thing imaginable?
Yeah.
Looks
By
like
far.
he's flashing someone in
They're
a
good
parking
though.
lot.
They take care of all the bugs around your house.
Fucking trench coat spread wide open, dude.
Come on in. I don't think that's a friendly.
No.
You see this thing, you better hope you're on the back of a fucking turret.
Yeah.
Fucking shooting 95, 50 cal bullets into this
What's
thing.
this thing called?
Fox bat.
A fox bat?
That's literally what I searched. It's called a flying fox.
I
I
had
don't
giant golden fox, golden crown flying fox.
I thought you said Golden Corral. So, yeah, all right, man.
Better than Long John's?
Yeah, I've been cut in front of by a sweet old lady, and she took the last 2 brownies on the Golden Corral thing.
Yeah, people don't fuck around in there.
If there's only 1 or 2 left, you have to get in.
Yeah. Did you punch her in the back of the head?
Thought about it. She
I
actually had a
would've.
cane. I almost
Yeah. Just kick her right out. Oh,
because the
sorry.
next batch, I don't know, what, 5 minutes, 6 minutes?
Probably longer than that.
No, not Golden Corral. They're quick.
Yeah.
Take the tennis balls off her walker. She'll be stuck.
That'd be perfect.
That would be awesome.
Kick her in the knee.
You like those brownies? I like mobility.
Yeah.
I mean, would it be awesome?
Kinda. You get ready for a new hip, lady.
No, she was sweet. I think I did the same thing. She knew she could take advantage of the situation, and she did. She even gave me like, excuse me? Yep, no problem. And then boom, boom. I think there was 3 of them. Boom. And then.
Should have said, hey, that's not right. Give me 2 of those.
You son of a bitch.
No,
Leave one for me.
I was probably incredibly high at the time. If I had to
Yeah,
guess. And I was
exactly.
probably-
I need those brownies. Give them to me.
Are you serious with that? And then I probably did it. Did you see? This fucking lady.
Should have told her. Hey, I saw that guy back there spitting those earlier.
See, that would have been the right move.
Yeah.
Make her feel worse about her move, but
You old rat.
instead,
And then she stuffs all 3 of them in her mouth. right in
Feels
front
like
of
she
you.
was.
no, she was not. She was. I hope to be that G whenever I'm her age.
Sure.
What if it was just somebody dressed up like an old person?
Could have been.
Yeah, exactly.
You never know these
Johnny
days.
Knoxville.
Johnny Knoxville just got in front of me. All right, let's get the fuck out of here. The real world's happening. Hammer Down will be happening in 15 minutes. Good luck out there, boys. Let's
Thank
get some
you.
winners.
Here we go, boys.
Hey, winners are needed
Yeah.
now more than ever.
Yeah, we need winners.
Hey, we need winners.
Especially with how much we're gonna have to pay for fucking gas.
Well,
Oh, yeah.
Hopefully not.
basically every political side was talking about that being a potential.
Yeah.
You getting Applebee's for lunch?
Well,
That's
you know I like the chicken fried. Cold beer on a Friday night. Half apps.
it's trending, or it was trending.
What, Applebee's?
Yeah.
Get some fucking Mana margaritas, boys.
Bro, whenever did you see them? Did you see them peel apart the mott sticks?
Oh, it was delicious.
Oh, my God.
Applebee's should be pumped.
You know the chicken nuggets that you put buffalo sauce on.
Hell yeah.
Oh,
If it's good enough for Dewey. It's
Yeah,
good
so
enough
1
for
through
us.
7 are all war trends, and number 8 is Applebee's, which technically.
we should. Today's not a day where we should do something positive on Twitter.
No.
Maybe tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Let's understand the severity of the situation.
You're going to need a big feel good Friday tomorrow.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Let's do a big feel good Friday.
Let's
tomorrow.
hope tomorrow's not
Okay,
worse.
so we'll give away $50,000 tomorrow.
Holy shit.
Holy shit.
We'll do that tomorrow.
To one person?
Interesting. That's an interesting question. No, that'd be rude. Why would you do that right now?
No.
Just one person?
No, yeah, you can't do
That'd
that.
be
We
fucked up.
need to spread the love.
Think on it.
Yeah, we need to spread it. We'll figure out how to do it.
Yeah,
We'll give that away.
let's sleep on it.
Yeah, we'll sleep on it.
Good call.
And by the way, if we're all here tomorrow, which by the way, I want to let everybody know I appreciate all of you.
Appreciate you, man.
Appreciate all, everybody.
Appreciate you guys.
Appreciate you.
Do you, AJ?
Yeah, shut up, AJ. You weren't even here.
Left
until
your
you
group
did.
Sorry,
chat,
guys. Sorry, I'm
pal.
trying to be real.
Yeah, me too. I'm trying to have a real moment. I
Yeah,
think that's
come
what they're
on.
saying.
Thanks
with
for
what
leaving
you're
the
doing.
group chat, AJ. That was
Yeah,
sweet.
he left
what's
the
that
group
all about?
chat.
Why'd you get out of
That
the...
was sweet.
I don't think I meant to.
Oh,
No.
okay.
Yeah.
Who is this? Is what you
Who's
said.
this?
Real funny.
Who this? That was unbelievable. That was a big step. We don't let
Yeah,
anybody in there.
we were pumped about it too. Like conversation amongst us. Pretty sweet. AJ's going to be in the group now.
Yeah, add me back in for real. I didn't mean to.
Fuck off.
I did mean to opt out. Usually, almost every
you
group
start
text I've been a
anymore?
part of, I opt out. But that one I didn't. I had some Apple ID situations logging in other people.
Oh, Axel.
Axel said, who this? And said, get me out of here.
Yeah.
A lot of people, dude. Stranger danger. I'm exiting the group chat.
Yeah.
Hey, we appreciate you, AJ, man. Thanks for everything.
Appreciate
we'll
you.
see everybody
Thank you.
tomorrow. Hammer Dahn's in 15 minutes. YouTube.com/hammer. Dahn. We need winners now more
More than ever.
Need him.
If you guys go,
Oh, boy.
yeah. All right.
Oh, here we go.
Come on. Here we go.
Here we go.
Put
guys
pressure
go-
on. I normally do well with
If
that.
you guys, yeah, absolutely. You did that one. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
There was one time.
Yeah, you had to.
yeah.
I
You
got,
did.
I got 20
That guy's
picks
dead.
locked and loaded before you say what you're about to say.
Okay, so
He
if
has
you,
20, by
that's
the
a
way.
lot of picks.
Jesus.
A lot of picks.
Cal State Northridge.
Okay, so if you guys are higher than 70% tonight,
Here we go.
if you guys are higher than 70% tonight, okay, 70%, which is, by the way, very,
That's great.
Very good.
that's very, as a show,
3 of 4.
higher than 70%, we'll give away 70,000 tomorrow.
All right.
Whatever your percentage is tonight, we'll give away that many.
There it is.
No pressure, Diggs.
Boom. No pressure.
Okay,
I mean, he's got 20 picks. There's no pressure on me.
whatever the percentage of that's how many thousands we'll give away.
There it is.
I like that game, actually.
Hey, let's go, Hammer. Dahn.
Here we go, boys.
Hey, the world needs some winners. People are going to get money regardless, unless you guys go 0%.
Yeah. 0 for 28 would be
Awesome.
all time.
Yeah, not a great night to do that. So
Yeah, the world needs it.
World needs it.
What'd you say, Zito? I'm sorry, buddy. Oh, did you say something? Oh, I thought I just heard you there. All right, so that's what we'll do.
Let's go, Hammer Don.
All right, Feel Good Friday. Good luck. And our last winner, $17,000 winner for the 17 pounds that I gained on vacation. Congrats, Dave.
Oh, Bear Don guy.
Bear Don. I didn't pick him.
What a surprise.
I didn't pick him.
Congrats, Dave, on 17 grand.
Also provided all the furniture in Zito's house, it looks like.
I will say
To be
Braun,
clear,
Braun picked him.
We have an entire Excel spreadsheet randomizer thing that happens now that we're doing it. We're trying to expedite the process as much as possible because we'd like to do giveaways. We'd like to do more giveaways. Cash App coming on board obviously helps with this on the payment side of it being able to be quicker. The randomizer that Bruce has put together for the entire thing as opposed to just literally stop. Right here. Okay, here we go. So we're actually trying to become pretty good contest people. It is fascinating, though, that as this thing continues to, the first winner is a Bear Don. Congrats to Dave, though. You deserve it, man. We appreciate the hell out of you in the PMS Live 2022. Hashtag tomorrow will be something special, and we'll give away however many thousands the percentage is of hits tonight for Hammer Don. All right, see you tomorrow, AJ. Hopefully, hopefully.
Yes, hopefully I will see you all tomorrow.
I appreciate you all so much. Bye.